Brother Jermaine, front row, please. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Janine, if first row, since, yeah. hmm Curly, the second row. Vincent, you're here. Good. Tyrone, come up, boss. Supposed to be an example, alumni. Yeah. All right. Now we need to find Nigel for all right. Good morning, everyone. Grand Rising. So today's one of those days I don't need a script, talking points. You know, this is a dream really manifested to, come in this moment as a son of Dominica, as a son of the St. Mary's Academy alumni, and I'm joined by my peers and peers from other educational institutions on island. And today's going to just unveil the depth of what a transformative experience, right, our spaces, educational spaces in Dominica, in the Caribbean, have had on all of us. So formally, my name is Miguel Murphy. I humbly serve as the Executive Director of Student Engagement and Community Partnerships in the Division of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management for Miami-Dade College. Miami-Dade College has been around since 1960. I want to say my high school has been around since 1932. We're almost 100 years old, so a little bit older than the college. So I'm, humbled by a little more than 30 plus years of existence in terms of the high school versus the college. Nonetheless, when I graduated from St. Mary's Academy in 1998, I immediately transitioned here to join my parents here in South Florida, and it was my goal to remain connected to the island, to my culture, and what I had learned back on island. So today's fast forward. I want to date myself. We're here today. So I don't want to go on and on, but we have a wonderful day planned with connecting the dots, with learning from our alumni and what we're doing, and you will, engage in treats, and we'll even spotlight some of our alumni. So at this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Vernangeli Garcia, our Secretary of the Caribbean Students Association and President-elect for our Student Government Association here at Miami-Dade College, to bring greetings.
Okay, hello guys, good morning. I think we could do a little bit better than that. Good morning, everyone. That's much like it. Hi guys, I'm Vernangeli Garcia. It's an honor to have you guys here at Miami-Dade North Campus to honor St. Mary alumni. I currently serve as Secretary of Caribbean Student Association and serving as President of Student Government Association here at North Campus. Today is a powerful opportunity to reconnect, reflect, reunite our shared community and progress. On behalf of Student Government Association, we welcome and thank you all to uplift community, to uplift Dominica and Caribbean diaspora. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy.
All right, let's give it up for our President of Student Government Association here at Miami-Dade College North Campus, and a true advocate for our Caribbean students here at Miami-Dade College and in the state of Florida. It brings me great pride to welcome our next presenter, someone who's been here my entire career, and a mother figure, a mentor, and it brings me great joy to introduce her to you all and for her to bring greetings on behalf of the college. Ms. Garrison.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Shameen Garrison. I am the Executive Director of the Carrie P. Meek Center. So Miami-Dade College has 8 campuses and 2 centers. It's sort of like a smaller campus atmosphere, but both of the centers are attached to one of the larger campuses. So I run the center that's in Liberty City, not too far from here. It's an inner city neighborhood and community where there are many Caribbean citizens that lives in that community, and I am honored to serve that community. I just want to welcome all of you from St. Mary's Academy. Like Mr. Murphy said, I was here when he first got here, and I'm not going to say how many years, but it's been an honor to watch him grow into leadership roles. He was a leader when he got here, so whatever you all did at St. Mary's, we need to bottle that and put it into more of our young men, because he's been a wonderful ally to work with. But we welcome you to Miami-Dade College, to our beautiful North Campus, and I know that today is going to bring lots of community, because that's what apparently St. Mary's does, and that's what Miguel does. So thank you very much for visiting the North Campus.
Give it up once more for Ms. Garrison. So at this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Janine Sorrendo to Bryn Welcome on behalf of our District 6 Caribbean Students Association colleagues and our Florida Caribbean Students Association. And then we will welcome the panel up for our next segment right after. Janine?
Good morning, everyone. Hello, my name is Janine Sorrendo. I am the Vice President of Caribbean Student Association at Florida International University, and I'm also a member of Florida Caribbean Student Association. Both of my parents are proud Dominicans, born and raised. I was raised in Florida, but my upbringing is deeply rooted in Dominican culture and values, which essentially identified my identity and like that today.
Don't go too far, Janine. I'm going to ask you to join the panel. And at this time, I'm going to ask our panelists, starting with our co-moderator, Mr. Nigel Francis, meritorious honoree recently at Dominica's recent independence. Next, we have my principal from 1990, I don't want to 1998. It was 5 years, very instrumental years of my life when, and I share this, I could have gone to Carroll City because I rep Miami Gardens very proudly. Could have gone to Carroll City or Miami Norland Senior High as a chief or a Viking, but legacy had its way. My dad, my cousins, my brothers all went to the academy. In fact, I thought I was going to go to Dominica Grammar School because my aunt, who nurtured me, went there. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go where she went. But, you know, legacy had its way, and I made my way to St. Mary's Academy, actually St. Mary's Primary shortly before. Okay, we're connecting the dots. And so Brother Jermaine was there for all of my 5 years. I think a lot of what I've learned from fundraising, I mean, we had A1 and A2 when I came. I was in A1. Shortly after, there was no A2, but there was the Brother Egbert Jermaine, which is now the Brother Egbert Jermaine wing, which we fundraised for relentlessly. And I remember at a young age, and I started high school at 11, just having the value of knowing how to fundraise through those bell maches going from Roseau to Trafalgar Falls. And other years we would go from Roseau to Soufriere and Scott's Head, which when I bring my friends to the island now, that's one of the first places we go. They don't walk, but, you know. But my good friend Oren Jolly, who leads one of the pharmaceutical companies, the first thing he will do is take me hiking. So those bell maches definitely prepared me for those New Day encounters. So thank you, Brother Jermaine. It's an honor really to have you here at this juncture in my career and with all of us. So join us. Next, we have Dr. Andrew Carbon. Wow. Has been a two-time boss of mine in admissions here. Well, I've been spoiled, clearly, here at North Campus, you know, and when I transitioned to advisement, which has been really the most significant role I've had at the college, which I still carry with me because clearly our scholars are here, Melody, Vincent, and Curly. And that advising piece has remained for it hasn't gone away, pretty much. So Dr. Carbon and I often talk about, you know, SMA being the best versus grammar school, but it's okay, he's gonna be on the panel. So, but it's really an honor to have him here and really on the panel this morning. So Dr. Carbon, join us. Last but not least, Olympian alumnus Fabian Florent, really a family friend. You know, the Esprits are no stranger to my upbringing. My godbrother, Lenin Neil Esprit.
Let me call him.
Your cousin Fidel Dura is, when I grew up in high school and we would, you know, go play basketball, he was the one I looked up to. When I went to the Rivers, he was there. Actually, he saved me from an encounter, but I'll leave that alone. And so your family, I mean, and mine are very, very intertwined. And again, everyone here, like I said, it's a dream come true. So I'm going to invite you up. I know you have a lot to say, and everyone on the panel. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Francis. I know he's connecting the dots.
About to.
He's about to. And while he's doing that, maybe I can moderate for a second. So, Dr. Carbon. Yes. So maybe we start with brief introductions from yourself here to our in-house audience. You know, who you are, your community that you are affiliated with in Dominica, and we'll turn it over to Fabian, then Brother Jermaine, and Penny.
All right, good morning. I'm Andrew Carbon. Is it done? Yes. I'm Andrew Carbon, and I am from Dominica. Now, you'd realize that the majority of people here went to SMA, but rare things are not easy to find. So I didn't go to SMA, I went to the Dominica Grammar School. So we are the rarity, the best of the best, to my SMA colleagues. I am originally in Dominica from the village of Boudica. So if you're from Dominica and you're very familiar with Dominica, you know the village of Boudica is the eastern part of Dominica. That's where I am from. Moved here, spent most of my adult life in Dominica. When I came here, I was like 38 years. And of course, I embarked strictly on education. For my first 12 years in the United States, I was at some kind of school that ended up with my doctorate in educational leadership. I currently serve as the Dean of Students at one of the campuses of Miami-Dade College, that is Miami-Dade College West Campus, which is in Doral. But one of the things that has never left me with all of those years is my attachment to Dominica. I always feel 100% Dominica, and if you see an extra glow in my face today, it is because on June 6th of this year, I will be on ground in Dominica for 2 weeks. And just knowing this has given me that kind of glow. I will share some more as we continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carbon. So let's turn it over to Fabian.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Fabian Florent. Of course, I'm from Dominica, originally Maho. I attended SMP and then SMA, the St. Mary's Primary and St. Mary's Academy. So I'm a really good product, I would say, of St. Mary's Academy, just like Miguel. I started my athletic career in primary school, so SMP, and then it sort of catapulted into something that ended up being very great for me in terms of making it to the highest level, which is the Olympics. But it all started in Dominica with a lot of discipline and hard work, moving up towards Caribbean Championships while I was in high school, being a national champion, winning a lot of medals, breaking a national record, and then earning a full scholarship to the US, where I completed my bachelor's in finance and my master's in business. And I started my PhD in leadership, organizational leadership. I went professional right after college. I've been doing professional athletics for almost 15 years and officially retired during COVID. So I made it to the 2016 Olympic Games as a semi-finalist in triple jump. Triple and long jump is my specialty. And I have always been connected and attached to Dominica because I think that I am a product of Dominica. I think that my success and my attitude came from the environment, the culture, the dedication of just not giving up. And I will always remain connected to the culture and to the country because I feel that I owe a lot to Dominica because of how far I've come. So thank you everybody for attending today. And now I've basically migrated back to Florida and I will continue to participate in more events.
Thank you. So we want to hear from Brother Jermaine, then we'll turn it over to you.
Mm-hmm. Good morning to one and all. I'm Brother Jermaine, as Mr. Murphy has said. Let me begin by saying I was a student at St. Mary's Academy in the 50s. I graduated in 56. And 2 years later, I was a young teacher at the school. In those days, incidentally, we did the Cambridge exams, and my graduating class was no more than 5. We took the Cambridge exams, we all passed Cambridge, and as I said, I began teaching in 58. In 61, the brothers gave me a scholarship to attend Iona College. In those days, colleges were few and far between. I did not accept the college because I chose to be a brother. So someone else got the scholarship that was given to me. I taught in the United States after graduation 10 years in one school in Newark, New Jersey. Then I was transferred to New Rochelle, Iona Prep, which is a high school in New Rochelle. Then something happened in Dominica. There was a movement called the Black Power Movement, and it created a lot of problems, chaos at the school. The brothers who were now teaching, at that time teaching at the school, had to quit the island, and they came back to the United States. In the meantime, we had Father Felix, who became a cardinal in the Roman Catholic Church. He passed away some time ago. He took over the school for a few years, and then he said he had had it. And then as a religious brother, I was asked to return to Dominica, and it was my pride and joy to be going back home. I went to Dominica in 1975, and I was principal of the academy up to 1984. Then I was transferred to one of our schools in the South Bronx, All Hallows School. After 6 years, I was asked to return to Dominica. So I returned to Dominica in 1990, and I was the principal there again from 1990 to 1998. And from there, all sorts of things happened. Perhaps we can talk about that later on. Just a brief summary of myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Jermaine. And I'm going to turn it over to Nigel. And panelists, as a reminder, the event is live streamed, so your microphones, feel free to take it off of the stands and hold it close, so our audience viewing virtually will definitely be able to hear you as well. All right, so Nigel, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, man, Miguel.
To lead the Connecting the Dots session. I'm excited about this, so I'm going to step away from the podium and take it all in.
Yeah, we're excited as well. So, hey, Connecting the Dots, welcome. Ivona, you here with me? Ivona, let's connect. All right, so while you're waiting to get it sorted out from DBS standpoint, because we're doing this in a way where we also have guests back home.
We are here, we are here.
You are here, okay, my dear. I was like, where you going? You left me all alone this morning. What's going on?
Morgan.
What's up? What's up?
Assalamu alaikum.
Kiss.
Again, in fact, to welcome family in Lucas Suite. We are here, Nigel Francis. If we just Baptist, look at the guests. Another lovely day, and we give thanks. Sun has not made a big entrance as yet, but I'm sure, pretty sure that it will come on sometime later today. Saturday family, I've got all my people with me. Is that the ties that bind, eh? Well, we're trying to ensure that things happen well. In the 4 years that we are having this program, that's the first kind of setup we're having. But it's gonna work. In fact, it's working. So as I was saying, these are the ties that bind us as a people. Always remember that blood does not define us. Eh? The true essence of family really lies in relationships that we choose to nurture. Nigel, come on, let's see Nigel is around. Nigel?
Hey, you there?
But Nigel, I'm not hearing you as loud. Nigel,
how you not hearing me now? Hearing you loud, and you can't hear me. What's going on?
Nigel, what is happening?
Kiss, you not hearing me now?
Okay, I'm hearing you, but I see you sitting at the table. You look all nice and dandy.
I'm not seeing you either.
Maroon, does it?
For some reason, I can't see
you. Hi,
Nigel.
Nigel.
Hey, can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you breaking up, kind of. I hope you can hear me, and I hope that does
I'm
not
hearing
see
you. I'm hearing you loud and clear, my dear. Loud and clear.
It's hearing me loud and clear. How you doing, Nigel?
Okay, I think I seen you now.
You're seeing me now? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and you
I
can,
seen
and
you
you
so
can
many
hear me
people
as
there,
well,
boy.
right?
And I seen you with the great brother Jermaine. But anyway, let's just start and we go right into the discussion. I think we have lost some minutes already, so let's see how it rolls.
We'll see how it rolls.
I have a
you know, we
studio
always
with
find
me
a way
and
to
I'm
make it
a
happen.
technician remotely.
We always find a way to make it happen, man. So that's no problem. We'll make it happen. So, like you say, it's the first time we're doing this, and it's not going to be the last because we're going on a series now where we're going to be connecting with live audiences and trying to make things happen in a special way as we continue to connect with Dominicans everywhere. So, hey, welcome to Connecting the Dots. How was your week, my dear?
It was okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Relatively quiet. I mean,
quiet.
quite a few meetings.
What's the weather like? What's the weather like home right
nice
now?
vibes.
Raining, sun, what's going on?
The weather is, let me see how I'd say it. Not a rain, in Roseau, where we are now. But it looks like we'll have a little rain. We had a little rain early this morning, last night as well. We had some rain yesterday as well. Right. But Dominica, one area there's a lot of rain and there's sunshine somewhere else. So.
Sun, right?
Sometimes you drive into work, Nigel, and by Suki's area, when there's rain. And when I reach at DBS, I tell you no rain. So you can just imagine. But it's a lovely day. It's a lovely Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to the discussion today, Nigel. We are not talking a lot before. We have a large crew. And so, yes, I'll zip my mouth in a short while, Nigel, right?
No, today is their day to talk, not our day, so we're good.
I'm feeling shy today, so I will not talk much.
Right.
It could be because...
Me too.
Yeah, because we have so much of a large group today,
Yes,
Nigel.
yes,
But,
yes.
yeah,
And we have a lot to discuss, actually, because this is an interesting program. So when we kind of put this together and we spoke about it and we say, hey, oftentimes we leave school and there are some people who believe that I have no commitment to my school again. I've already left. I got my 4 or 5 years. Thank you very much. Bye. And there are others who believe that they have to continue to assist and continue to contribute. So at least this morning we're going to find out from the panelists here and for those you have in the studio. What I'm going to do, Ivona, is maybe give you the opportunity to kind of introduce those in the studio first, and then we can chit-chat after that. What do you think?
Yes, of course.
All right,
Yeah,
so
no
go ahead
problem,
with your studio
Yes.
guest.
Yes, and so as you were saying, we have a very interesting topic today on connecting the dots, and we also want to applaud the St. Mary's Academy for setting the tone.
Say that again.
The St. Mary's Academy. I'm not afraid to say it,
Okay,
even
okay.
if,
Just
you
checking.
know what it means, the SMA. But no, seriously, I really want to applaud the SMA, the Alumni Association that is being convened for setting up the tone for what we aim to achieve through today's program, Nigel. It would also be remiss of me, to mention Dominica Grammar School, Old Boy, Val Coffey, through his establishment, Bullseye Pharmacy, who is sponsoring to this program. So hats off to Bullseye Pharmacy, Nigel. So Nigel, Val Coffey is putting his money where his mouth is, and that's very good.
That's good.
So who do we have in studio? You'll give me the introduction on your end will be done in a short while, but I have 3 people in studio. I have 2 ladies and a gentleman, and I'm real pleased, we have the lovely and full of energy Convent High School old girl, Sabrina Bully. She's on with us. We also have Rhoda St. John. You see, I'm starting the ladies first. Rhoda St. John, who went to the Goodwill Secondary School. And we have as well from the Dominica Grammar School, Lubert Labad, and they will give the introductions. They'll tell you about other things that they too are involved in. Normally for Sabrina Bully, it was a give and take, Nigel. She had to juggle because, she has this commitment every Saturday with the young people on the New Song Savannah, but I'm happy she's here. So go ahead with your introductions, and then we'll bring them on, and we just start the discussion right away, Nigel.
All right, sounds good to me. So it's a little different. Normally we try to get a background. We'll do that as best as we can, right? So of course, to my right, you have Brother Jermaine, who's been on Connecting the Dots before. Kind of no introduction in the sense that we all know Brother Jermaine, right? But in the discussion, we'll find out a lot more in terms of what SMA is doing as it relates to this particular project, but also in terms of the schools and contributions given back to your alma mater. And then to his immediate rights, Dr. Andrew Carbon, who also was on Connecting the Dots with us a couple of weeks back when we were looking at the whole question of colleges and how we can connect with other colleges and so on. So we'll be finding out more about that from Dr. Carbon. And then we also have Fabian Flora. For those who don't recall Fabian, I'm pretty sure you do, because as a triple jumper, long jump, Olympian, by the way, you went to SMA too, eh? Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Carbon went to grammar school. Yes, DGS. Yes, I have to keep saying that. So, but Fabian went to SMA. And then to the furthest right, we have Janine Sorrento, right. Who, interestingly, of course, her parents are Dominicans, but she's here in Florida. She represents the Caribbean Students Association, but has deep connections with Dominica. I want to make sure that, you know, she didn't go to convents or, you know, or St. Martin Secondary, but it's all good because she continues to promote Dominica in the best way. And then in the audience, who, of course, in case you guys did not know, you're going to be part of this because you'll get an opportunity to ask questions. I will ask you questions or comments or whatever you want. So in the audience, we have a number of other people there. We have the executive director of Miami-Dade College in terms of the Career Center and everything else. We have the president of the Florida Association as your student association here. See who's here. We have Shelly. Shelly from Signal is here. By the way, he went to SMA too. Yes. So Shelly is right here.
Excuse me, Nigel.
Yes.
Okay.
Tyrone is here.
No, we're not going to say SMA a lot of times. They're on the program.
Okay, I'm not going to say SMA again.
Okay.
But Tyrone is here as well. Of course, basketball and all the rest of it. Went to SMA too, by the way. And then we have at the back here, lovely daughters. By the way, we didn't say the prayer this morning. Okay, we'll pray in a while. We didn't pray? Did we?
Yes, the prayer was
done. Okay, that was before. All right, so yes, of course, they're the ones who said the prayer for connecting the dots. And then we have, you know, more and more people. We have Geoffrey Levy there, Sylvester Henry, Elise, Carol, Jennifer, a number of people here. Of course, so we'll be chit-chatting with them. So, hey, let's get this thing going.
Let's start, Nigel. Let's get introductions from my people here.
Yes, your introductions from your end.
Studio 2. And yeah, we'll move on. All right. So let me go to Studio 2, and we'll start with the ladies first. We have Sabrina. Good morning to you. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your background, Convent High School, and all of that. And then we will take it from there. Yes, Sabrina Bully, welcome. Yes, your mic is on. Your mic is on. Yeah.
Good morning, Ivona. Good morning to Nigel and all the other panelists. Good morning to listeners and viewers of this program this morning. My name is Sabrina Bully, and I'm here representing the Convent High School class of 1989. I'm really hoping for an engaging discussion. And my hope is that the conversation brings encouragement to others to join the charge in supporting our alma maters.
You are very much involved, Sabrina, in giving back, obviously.
Yes. Besides my alma mater, of course, I do other things. I'm very community oriented. I love community initiatives. So it was no surprise that I would sort of cling to this group that was formed, the class of 89. 89, man. When I say that, I feel so old.
I know.
Listen, that's like 36 years ago.
Wow.
But yeah, I am so thankful for what we consider now our own little sorority of sisters. Those are lifelong bonds that we make. When we go to high school, some of my best friends I went to school with. And it really is a pleasure to have everybody come together collectively and say, listen, besides supporting each other in our wins and in our losses, we would love to be able to support our old school because, I mean, this is the institution that gave us the foundation blocks that sort of propelled us to become who we are today. So, yeah. Giving back was a no-brainer for us, definitely.
All right, so we'll come back to you, obviously. Let's go to Rhoda St. John. I'm saving the man for last.
Good morning, Ivona. Good morning, Nigel. Good morning to the panelists that are up. at the Miami-Dade College with Nigel. Good morning to all the listeners. And as Ivuna said, I am Rhoda St. John, and I am one of the founding students of the Goodwill Secondary School.
Say that again.
Proud to say that. I am one of the founding students of the Goodwill Secondary School. When we started like Sabrina said, she left in 89, but we started in 89.
Wow.
So that's a long way off. And I'm just sitting here thinking of it, and I'm like, oh, so in 2029 will be 50 years, but I old.
And look at Sabrina, by you looking so very, very young still. Yeah.
But giving back to our alma mater and giving back to the communities, giving back to the schools is something that I have been doing for years in terms of community outreach, working with youth, working with children, working with groups. And even the work that I'm involved in now is also giving back to women and girls, and more so we've extended it to our young boys, because whilst we train our young girls, we cannot leave out the men, because who are we training the girls for if we do not look at an aspect of the young boys and the men?
All right, and we'll come back to that, of course. Lubert Labat, I wonder if Lubert Labat will say he's an old boy of what? Well, of course, he's an old boy of the Dominican Grammar School, but the year, because let me tell you something, Lubert and I went to school together, we graduated together, so anyway, Lubert, go ahead. It will just say that probably we are old? No, we're not.
We're not old. We're not old. Good morning, Ivona. Good morning, Nigel. Good morning to Miami-Dade community up there. Man, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ivona, for giving me this opportunity. Just to express, what we've done as a, by the way, I'm from 87 graduates, and Ivona, that's my classmate. We went from first form to fifth form, as we all did.
We went from crayons to perfumes.
Yes. And man, we this group, 87 graduates, was formed somewhere around 2017. And Ivona, I think, was one of the founding members that put this group together. And let me tell you, we are doing things for grammar school that I think is so important, especially for the younger generation. It's a different time, and I'm so happy to be part of this panel. Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll come back to you and we'll talk all about what is being done. Nigel, take it away.
Yes. So, of course, you've kind of heard some introductions over there from the panelists back home, Lubert, Sabrina, and Rhoda. And one of the themes, I guess, is the whole idea of giving back to your alma mater. Now, Dr. Carbon, in terms of giving back to your alma mater, do you think that it is, and we'll get the views of all the other panelists, do you think that it is necessary, it is a responsibility of a student once they've graduated to give back to the alma mater?
Hello, Dominica. Hello, the panelists at DBS Radio. Just to introduce myself, just in case you don't know, I am Andrew Carbon, the son of the soil from Whitaker, right in the east of Dominica. And Ivona, I'm with you. I'm a proud product of Dominica Grammar School.
Yes. The greatest of all builders.
Represent.
Yes.
It's all good.
So, yes, it is important. Look, we are where we are today because of our high schools. Our families have played a part in our upbringing, but our first real exposure to new people, to new communities, to new networks, to a different type of education came from our high schools. And it is very, very, very important to recognize what we've gotten from them and be able to give back to those communities. And giving back to the community, that can happen in a number of ways. If you're financially blessed, they will accept the finances. If you're not financially blessed, just some of your time, giving back to your time. You may go back, say, for example, to be a commencement speaker. You may serve as a mentor. You may go ahead and give advice. So one of the things that I do quite a bit is give advice to Dominican students who are considering coming to study in the United States. Because as an international, I came here as an international student. And I can tell you it is not the easiest thing to navigate the education system here in the United States. So I do quite a bit of that. I have shared my telephone numbers. I have shared my WhatsApp link, my Facebook link. And I will tell you that there are persons who reach out to me here for that kind of information. So I willingly do that. Is there absolutely more that I can do? Absolutely. In addition to just even giving back to your alma mater, we also have to remember the communities where we came from. So one of the things that I have done in my community is given back some to my community, the cultural group, just kids generally, and then I'm looking forward to do those things. So yes, it is very, 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 very important to give back to those who contributed to your development and where you are right now.
And so Fabian, for those who might say, listen, man, I went to school, I did what I had to do, thank you very much. I, had my recess, I went to school, you guys teach me, I passed my subjects, bye. I don't owe anything to you guys. I just came here for my education, goodbye. What do you say to them?
I would say that you do owe something, right? Because this is an investment that everybody has put in to ensure that you have the best education and experience. Whether it is from the teachers, the principal, and the entire community that's in the high school, everybody's putting in extra effort. It's not only about the money, it's about the passion. So once you see that and you have reached to the highest level, or you have achieved more than you achieved more than ever with the school, then you have to realize that giving back is important. And when you look at a lot of successful colleges, for example, in the US, like Penn State University, that has one of the biggest alumni support, you can see that it creates an environment where the school can continue to grow, offer more degrees and programs, which basically opens the door for more students to come in. So the more that you can give back to your alma mater is the more opportunities you can create for the upcoming students. And if you're passionate about your country, then you should also contribute in the development, and that's one way you can give back. So I totally support it.
Okay. So, Brother Jermaine, for SMA, and then we'll go back to DBS after that. So for SMA and for SMA alumni and for the old boys of the school and so on, who are now trying to put together this project, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, in terms of the renovation of the roof or the repair of the roof and making sure we can have some students who are out of classes right now, make sure that they can continue having the education. So what do you say to those who pass through the doors of SMA? Why should they want to continue to assist SMA?
Well, let me begin with myself. I went to the St. Mary's Academy, and if I had not gone there, I would not be where I am today. And I think every student should look at himself as a beneficiary from his high school. In that case, from St. Mary's Academy. It has given us a lot, and we are where we are now because of the education, the support that we had from our school, and it should be our responsibility to help out, to make sure others can benefit from what we benefited from. I think it is absolutely necessary, and I would encourage every graduate, and even if you had not graduated from the school, you left, say, before graduation, you should have that responsibility of giving back something. You know, we are living in such a selfish world right now. We have to forget about the selfishness and be more generous. Be generous with our resources. Be generous with whatever we can do to assist, not just the school, but our country. We have to practice patriotism.
Appreciate those sentiments. Appreciate those sentiments. Thank you, Bullseye Pharmacy, by the way, for bringing this and showing that we have the different connecting the dots this Saturday. Bullseye Pharmacy always doing it right. Federation Drive and where else? Up Pishley side as well. And anywhere else you can get Bullseye Pharmacy, you know you're going to get that. I've got a last thing from me on this end, and I'm going to come back over to you, which is, Janine, you were not born in Dominica, but you still have a passion for wanting to give back to Dominica and wanting to, in a sense, continue to give back to students. What is it that you feel drives you to want to give back to Dominica, but also here in Florida to the Students Association?
Okay, well, my upbringing is very Dominican. The food, the music, the culture itself. So I go to an international school. When I came there, I realized there wasn't enough representation of Dominica. So then I became vice president of Caribbean Student Association, where no matter how big, how small the cultural event, Dominica always represented.
Yes, and that is important. That's important because, especially for those who are not born in Dominica, I mean, it's difficult in the sense that you are here, you rely on your parents and, you know, others to let you know what Dominica is like. You go back home maybe for Carnival or, you know, Creole Fest and all the rest of it. But it's a little more difficult when you're not born in a particular country, but yet still you want to make sure you represent that country because of the ties that you have and the connection that you have. I want to, let's hear from your people over there.
Sure, Nigel, and let me just also welcome listeners via radio, via YouTube, and Facebook as well. We have quite a few people on, Nigel, and I think I should just at least just, you know, big up all of you who are on the live. Carl Kofi James, Alma Labad Harris is also on. Well, Nigel Sonia Williams, and the list goes on, Simeon George, Glenda Fagan, and, you know, quite a few people. And we really appreciate your support. Now, by the end of the program, there should be several takeaways for listeners on both radio and social media. The discussion should serve really as a catalyst for action. There should be this, you know, what I would call this dynamic process that will accelerate the desired outcome. The plan is to have more schools, obviously, until next week. We want to continue this. But we want Connecting the Dots to serve really as a pivotal platform for advancing the giving back to your alma mater agenda, if I could call it that, which we have set. So let me go to Studio 2, and let me hear now from our guests in reference to the question that you asked, Nigel. And let us look at the importance of giving back. Why do we have to give back? Or should we give back? You know, some people would say, oh, I went to school for 5 years or how many years, and I gave back because I paid school fees and all of that. But just listening to what Dr. Carbon said, you know, a while ago, you know, it really, Nigel, dawned on me that we should really do this and do this more often. I mean, a lot of students are doing it, past students are doing it. But let's hear from the students, past students who are in Studio 2. Give us your views about giving back. Why should we give back? Or should we give back? Is it necessary for us to give back? What, you know, and things like that. So let us explore that angle of it as well. Anyone can begin.
Definitely, I would say giving back is something that we ought to do, especially to our alma maters. You go to a school, and that school basically took care of you for 5 years, 6 years in certain cases, and you spend more time at a school than you spend at your home during your growing up years. Because from 8 to 1, then you have the afternoon classes, so you spend a lot of time at that school, and that school can either shape you and break you. It is up to you what you want the school to do for you, whether you want the school, based on how you appreciate the school, you make something of your life. Based on how you appreciate the teachings that you get, you become somebody tomorrow. So the school helps to shape your future. And I believe that those of us who have reached somewhere, those of us who have accomplished, those of us who have built, we should be, once we're in a position, we should give back to our schools. We should help to build the school that build us.
Mm-hmm. So giving back sort of demonstrates gratitude.
Yes.
It helps, you know,
and it helps another student as well. It helps
yes.
a student at that school now to recognize, hey, this individual went to my school, so I can do something myself. I can become someone myself. Mm-hmm. So when they see you give back, they appreciate it and they do better as well.
Now, Lubert Labad, of course, an old boy of the Dominica Grammar School, he's very much integral as well in the Lions Club because he's the president. So I want to tie this in as well and ask my question though. Giving back, do you think that it fosters a sense of, you know, community and personal fulfillment, you know, for alumni? What is your take on this, giving back?
Well, to me, giving back is our responsibility as just human beings. I think that's the way we were meant to be as a community. Everything was based on the community on, going from way back. And we just feel, as you said, a sense of gratitude. I'm the president of the Lions Club, and I just feel that I just can't go on with my life, go to work, come home, go party, and do whatever, and not feel like, hey, I'm doing something. So it's built in myself, my family. Have always given back. I always contact them because they always say the diasporas, have a lot of connections. So I reach out to the diaspora a lot to help out my sisters, family. But with the grammar school, specifically 87 graduates, with that group, it's a very special group because there was a lack of in terms of a lot of the students coming to school without breakfast. We saw the need for that, and we have people like Gloria and Rebecca, Ivona herself. I don't want to call too many names because there's so many people that's involved in this, that pulled together this group to get some funding so that for the breakfast for the students coming into the grammar school. And we had to do something. And we also do the mentorship program, which is so important to the younger generation, because as we can see, we cannot blame parents, we cannot blame the students. It's a different generation, it's a different time with social media and everything. So we try our best to kind of give them that ground in for, growing up and understanding the importance of school. So giving back to our school is I would say, is very, very important.
I know what's wrong with my mic, but thank you, Lubert. We'll come back to you. Rhoda, and Sabrina. Let's get your take on this, giving back. What does that mean to you? What does that say really? Why should we give back?
It is our responsibility to give back. I believe it is our responsibility to give back, especially to that which has helped foster our own growth. Gratitude is a must. It's something that our schools themselves have instilled in us, if we were listening properly. And I echo everything that was said, especially by Dr. Carbon and Brother Jermaine. We are the beneficiaries of, for me, in my case, Convent High School. And I do not believe that there's any student, whether they want to be involved or they like Nigel mentioned, they feel, okay, well, I've just done my education and that's it. I owe nobody nothing. At some point in time in your life, there is some lesson, some foundational block that was given to you by your school that you pull out of the woodwork to help propel you forward. There is nobody, I don't believe it can be denied by anybody, as much as they would like to remain detached. Now, I come and I, like my sisters of class of 89, we come from an age where it took a village to raise a child. You couldn't walk Virgin Lane and have a raised voice. Your grandmother would know about it before you got home. Everybody looked out for everybody. And it's unfortunate that as time has gone by, we find there is more of a disconnect going on right now between the young generation and, everywhere. There's a disconnect. And it really is our hope that by seeing the stuff that we as alumni helping our alma mater able to do for our school, the positive impacts we're able to make, that it will encourage those who are not already engaged to engage. It's very fulfilling to know that you are doing something to help not only your alma mater, but the generations to come. In fact, when the class of 89 got together, we put together a mission statement, which said, it is reutilizing our collective expertise and resources to encourage the advancement of future generations through our alma mater, where we give the support necessary and the guidance. So our hope is not only to be involved with the school directly, which has needs, you know, which we can talk about a little bit later. There are certain things that are on Convent High School's agenda in terms of what they would like to accomplish, and we would love to be a part of that. But yeah, for the most part, we would like to start and develop a mentor program, which we don't have yet connected with our group. We would like to do the mentoring. We would like to be able to have a more personal connection with the future generation that we're trying to impact. So yeah, gratitude again is a must. And before I end,
Sure.
Brother Jermaine, I want to thank Brother Jermaine. Brother Jermaine actually gave me the opportunity to teach at SMA. So Nigel, maybe I'm an SMA girl boy too. I taught at SMA for a few years, and some of my most awesome encounters is meeting my past students on the road, and it's, Miss Bully, man, you were one of my favorite teachers. Miss Bully, you're not aging, you look just like, they just pump me up so much. I love it. Every time I meet an SMA boy, I get pumped up. I feel like I'm invincible. So thank you for that opportunity. I think I played my part as a teacher in terms of imparting some stuff. So thank you, Brother Jermaine.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. A lot is coming from this, Nigel.
Yes,
I
yes,
feel empowered.
That's what I love about this particular program. You know, that, by the way, if it's your first time, please join us every Saturday. Ivona and myself do this. We connect with different people, different topics, and every Saturday from 9 to 11. And of course, you'll always hear us battling between SMA and DGS, which is fine, because although I went to SMA, yes, I went to SMA, but at the same time, I taught at DGS over 15 years. So in a sense, it's, you know, I mean, I always do this, but there's still that connection between SMA and DGS.
Oh, yes.
For the other schools that are concerned, this is the first one we're doing in the series of giving back to our alma mater. So we have DGS, we have SMA, we have Goodwill Secondary. And of course, next Saturday we'll have the other schools as well. So hey, don't feel like you're being left out. We want to thank SMA and the Alumni Association for actually inspiring this. And, you know, Miguel and company and all the other committee members. Again, SMA, you know, trying to make sure we can continue leading.
So well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but,
well, yeah, you understand? Yes.
Okay.
Come on for you.
Go ahead.
In terms of giving back still, we find that we have students who have studied in the U.S., right? Do you think that those students who have studied here in the U.S. also have a responsibility to assist other students who are coming up, or students who are here currently?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Miguel said, Miguel and I, we've worked closely together for years. I've known Miguel probably from the time Miguel studied at Miami-Dade College. And one of the things that we've tried to do is to, whenever we are always on the lookout for Dominicans, and it doesn't have to be on my campus. And it was like the unspoken rule at our campus, which is North Campus. I'm no longer here, but it was the unspoken rule that anybody who meets a Dominican who comes to the college, you need to let Miguel or myself know. And what we've tried to do is to create that sense of community so that we can have students supporting students. Even before I continue, I want to recognize in the audience Dr. Ron Winston. Dr. Ron Winston is also Dominican from Maho, who is the Dean of Students at our medical campus. He's Masak.
Masak and Maho, just like SMA and DGS.
Yes.
Nigel, let me just come on, and sorry, Dr. Cabo. Could we zoom in on him from your end? Let's see who is Dr. Ron Winston.
Oh, you want to see who's... okay, so I'm going to get my tech guys, because we're going to go to the audience, by the way, audience. In the next 15 minutes, Miguel is going to have a roving mic, because we want to make this very interactive.
Okay, so we will see Dr.
So, we want to see who Dr. Ron is. I guess the technician guys are setting it up so they can see the audience.
Okay.
All right, but yes.
Yes, going back. So yes, it is very important. So that's what we try to do also. If you have a Dominican heritage and we know of you, we try to ensure that you have that kind of connection in Dominica. Now, I absolutely appreciate the fact that Ivona and I will always enjoy being from DGS, and we will, to the fact that we're from DGS and Nigel and the others from SMA. It is really, really, really good for those kind of banters to take place, because you know why? It creates that attachment to your institution. It creates that kind of school spirit. And when you have that kind of attachment, so say for example, today here we have the SMA Alumni Association here with this event. You know what? Guess what? The DGS is not going to be left behind. So those of us from DGS here, we're going to do something too. So those banters are really, really, really good because it promotes the school spirit.
And we have Convent High School, and we also have the Goodwill
and Convent High School and Goodwill School. Absolutely. All of the high schools, those kind of banters are very, very, very important. And one of the things that we can continue to do from the high school standpoint and the students who are currently in high school is to promote that kind of school spirit. When there is sports, for example, I remember a couple of years ago when there was athletics and SMA, DGS, Portsmouth. I remember people like Christy Alcide, who was a really good high jumper. We had Evan Guy who ran the 100 meters, and Ian Blanchard. Look, we would go in droves. We would go in droves to the Windsor Park to support, and that is the kind of support. That is the kind of things that promote school spirit, and that is the kind of legacy that lives with us, so that in years down we will remember those kind of contributions that those institutions do to us, and it will make it so much easier because of the emotional and intimate attachment that we've had in this institution to continue to support those institutions.
And
well said, Dr. Carbon.
Yeah, I love the fact that you mentioned Gabon in terms of the high school students and ensuring that they can have that kind of, and the bantering that went on between athletics and SMA and basketball and grammar school sports day and, you know, all the different, you know, that to me kind of, in a way, helps to develop even more, I mean, you know, the students, that kind of tug of war that we had between ourselves. Which sports day was better? Which basketball team? Which football team was better? I mean, SM was always winning, but you know, at the same time, we always had that sort of situation, right?
Even who played the best marble hole. I remember being at Dominica Grammar School, and we had a competition once between SMA and Dominica Grammar School to see who played the best marble hole.
For those of you who don't know what
remember
marble hole is.
Grammar school as well. Grammar academites came out of that, you know,
yes,
and a lot of other clubs.
Actually, that was probably one of the better things that we had. The Grammar academites, when we were able to have both SMA and Grammar School come together and form a football team. Very formidable football team. Brother Jimin, I wanted to ask you, and then Janine, I wanted to ask you in terms of from a principal standpoint, management standpoint. We are here talking about students giving back, but do you feel that the principal or those in management, they are the ones who can well determine whether the students are going to give back when they leave, based on how they, you know, treat the students, based on the sort of curriculum that they put together for the students, based on the activities that they have for them? Is that what gives you the love for wanting to give back to your school?
Yeah. I think everything that the principals or headmasters or headmistresses do should be with the aim of having the students have that responsibility in them to do something to give back. You know, it is, as we read in scriptures, it is more blessed to give than to receive. And we have received, but remember, it's more blessed to give. So we have that responsibility to give back, to make sure that we can inculcate into the students the idea of giving back, doing something for your school. And when we do it for the school, we're not just doing it for the school, we're doing it for our country. And again, the whole idea of patriotism. Whatever we can do to help the school, to help our country, if we are really patriotic, we should do it. And we have to teach our students to grow up with that type of philosophy, that type of idea in mind. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I like what Brother Jimin said, and I'm also thinking our teachers, like our alma mater, they are like champions that empowered us to reach new heights. And so that's why I said earlier this song, there's a line in this song from To Serve With Love, this song. how can you thank someone who has taken you from crayons to perfumes?
Yes, yes.
So if you think of this line,
that
you
whole-
know,
that whole
Nigel,
development thing, yeah.
it will just tell you that it is your duty to give back. It's,
It is,
you
it
know,
is, it is.
you will help your institution, you know, go a long way because of your generosity, because of your decision maybe to form an association and give back. So, Nigel, I'm saying all of this and I'm like I have goosebumps because it's
You
Nigel.
almost
I
feel
mean,
like-
for us
you-
to have this
You
discussion
almost feel
at
like
this
you want to
time.
start giving back today, right?
Yes,
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 yes.
But I'm happy I'm giving back in my way. Probably
Yes.
I have abdicated some of my responsibilities. Lubert might be smiling as I say this. But yeah, it's really, really, really good to give back. I'm thinking of Brother Jermaine, who has done so much for not just the SMA, for Dominica. And you yourself, Nigel,
And
a
by the
past
way,
teacher.
I mean, yes.
And
by the way, before you
Sapita
go to
Bully,
me
you
and what
know,
I've
from
done.
as well.
By the way.
And go
yeah,
ahead.
no. I just wanted to mention the fact that, I mean, it's actually an honor and a blessing to our brother Jimmy here with us. For those who don't know, brother Jimmy has
on,
just
bud.
celebrated his 89th birthday. Yeah?
Today?
89. So
Brother
that tells you in
89.
terms... Yes, heading to 90 next year. But that just tells you in terms of, you know, the not just longevity, but in terms of the foundation that he's been able to impact over all those years. We were having a little discussion outside when we were having breakfast. And, you know, that Brother Jimmy has let us know that he actually started in 1958 at SMA, one of the first set of students there since 1958, and where the school was. So from 1958 to now, he's been contributing to SMA, but to education on a whole as well. So thank you.
I think
Thank you.
a round of applause.
You're very
For the
welcome.
country-
You're very welcome.
For the
Thank you very
Jimmy.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Continuously.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Wow. Nigel, I know you have, and you want to ask one of them a question,
Well,
right?
yeah, I was going to ask Jenny because, you know, I mean,
You know,
as the only-
we from the
as the
Dominican
only
Grammar School,
female
know
on the
who we
panel.
are, so we have to jump forward.
So,
I just
so-
wanted to bring in a question to one of the guests that we have, but go ahead, Nigel.
Okay,
It's
so
all right.
after that, then you go to the guests in the studio, and then
Yes,
after that,
yeah,
you
go
come.
ahead.
Okay, because as the only female on the panel here, I think it's important to recognize as well in terms of, you know, ladies and the fact that we often may find that. Well, let me put it this way for you. Do you think it is even more important for the females to ensure, for ladies to ensure that they can do that mentoring as well of other young ladies coming up in terms of giving back?
Yes, I believe it's important. Even in high school, a teacher of mine found out that my family and I am from Dominica, Miss Thomas from Goodwill, and she took me up under her wing throughout the whole high school and college, and she helped me through through culture, how to like navigate through classes and everything like that. If I had any questions, I would just go to her, like anything to talk about, and it helped me a lot. So yeah, I believe it.
Well, do you find it's a burden on you as being being Dominican at FIU? By the way, my daughter is at FIU. She didn't want me to say that, but I'm going to say it. So do you find it's a burden on you to carry Dominica and to let others know that this is not Dominican Republic? Because we always have to explain that. But do you find it as a burden that you have to let them know of this place called Dominica?
No, I don't find this a burden. I really love it.
You love it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I get the question. So do you speak Spanish? I'm like, no, that's the wrong place. So it's just like educating them, and it's better to educate, and then they'll learn more, and then like they'll come back to me and be like, oh, you're from the nature island. I'm like, yeah, you learned more. So
You
yeah.
get it there, right. And Fabian, for you, and then we go back to DBS, to go back to the studio over there. As an Olympian, someone who's involved in sports and so on, do you also believe that that responsibility lies upon you as it relates to sports and trying to ensure that we can continue developing the sports by giving back those who've been through, doesn't necessarily have to be Olympics, but those who've been able to reap the benefits of whatever sporting activities were in your school, that they have that responsibility as well?
Yeah, absolutely, because I would say that I'm a product of people that have gone before my time, that have given back. I remember when I was in SMA and I started getting real serious with triple jump, and I became a bronze medalist at the Crifter Games. I was looking up to Jerome Romain, and at that time Jerome Romain was a bronze medalist at the World Championships. So besides that, you know, the equipment the sacrifice of the coaches. So let's just go back to the high school foundation. The schools in Dominica are non-revenue generating. So the people that actually teach, they're making a sacrifice. If it was about money, they would go get another job, right? So that's the ultimate sacrifice in the beginning when you look at the foundation. Then you have people that are kind enough to give back. That created opportunities for people like myself. For example, at SMP, St. Mary's Primary, there was a long jump pit built there. I thought that just fell off the sky, right? So somebody might have donated or given back to the school that helped build that pit, but that's the same pit that I trained in during SMP that developed my talent in jumping that led towards SMA and then to the World Junior Championships and then to All-American status in the US and then towards European Championships and all on down to the Olympics. So it's a rolling impact of giving back and how the new generation benefit from that. So it's really, really important to give back because there's a lot of talent in Dominica. I've seen so many talented athletes not make it to the next level because they didn't have enough shoes or equipment. So just small contributions like that makes a huge difference, and I can say that I'm a product of that. I became very successful because of the contributions that people before my time have given, whether it's in school or with Olympians Athletic Club, SMA, the Maho community, it doesn't really matter, but that is so important in the development. So yes, I think that is very important that from a sports perspective that whoever that's gone before and made it and became successful should give back because there's a new generation of kids that need that support to make it happen.
Yep. So, and then, so Ivona will go back over to you so we can find out from, Lubert and Bree and the rest. And then we'll come back over here because one of the things we keep hearing is that maybe our generation and maybe those just after us have more of that passion to give back. The younger generation is a CO thing, the music is a this or whatever it is. We don't have time to want to give back to our school and all that sort of thing. So it might be, is it a generation issue? Is it that the younger people now are not being, that passion for wanting to give back is not as much as it was when we were at school? So we can look at that, but let's hear from Bree and Rhoda and Lubert.
Definitely, Nigel. And I also want to get a sense of what school life was for them. So I want to go back, sort of, Nigel. It would be interesting to find out, what happened at the Dominica Grammar School for the 5 years that Lubert was there. Rhoda as well. And even, I see Sabrina, you're laughing at this. You have some stories you want to... No, but seriously, because what Nigel was just saying, it just tells me as well, back in the days, things were so much different. The curriculum was different. We had to give back, voluntary efforts was much needed. You had to do this. You had to volunteer. Civics was taught at school. Guidance and counseling was on a high. I'm not saying these things are not happening, but I can just speak for what I know that happened in my time. So I want to go back a little. Tell us about the CHS days, Sabrina, as an old girl, 1989. What is foremost on your mind as we talk about giving back? What do you remember?
About my school?
About your school.
So many things. So many things stayed with me, they left their mark on me. Like I mentioned before, the friendships that are formed during those years, those are friendships that are like, they can't be broken. These are the girls that will celebrate your wins with you. They will hold your hand when you experience losses. They are lifelong friends. My coming up in school, I wasn't always an exemplary student. I knew my work, but I was sort of known as a little bit rebellious towards the end of my school, my schooling, by the principal and staff and some of my schoolmates. However, it was all in fun. And as I said, the relationships that were formed were the most impactful to me, not just with my fellow students, but who went to school with me, but also the teachers. Man, the teachers, there were some teachers that went over and beyond to just guide you when they felt you were going off, veering off the track, you know, getting your priorities mixed up, that they would really go over and beyond for you. And right now, the first person who comes to mind from my convent high school days is Rosie Roll. She had a huge impact on me in terms of sitting down and having conversation with me. Like I mentioned, I was a little bit rebellious toward the end of my schooling, and so I had issues with religion being mandatory. And my first term, because of some of my questions, I was put out of class because it was felt at the time I was being disrespectful, which probably I was. In my, you know, as teenagers, you think you know it all. And Rosie Roll was the one who encouraged that discussion with me, helped me to better understand what the religion component of education, what it was bringing, what its intention was. And I'm so grateful to her. We remain good friends to this day. So yeah, that was basically my 5 years, very impactful, where I think it's from my 5 years of going to school that I am able to remember the order of Mass at church. We did so much of the religion component that it gave me that little connection to my faith, right? So it grew that in me. But yeah, for the most part, it was significant, a significant impact over the 5 years that I spent at Convent High School. Yeah.
You want to chime in, Rhoda, St. John?
I remember starting, and I just sent a message in our GSS students group chat, and we were laughing because when we started with spandex. We had this brown skirt with the kimono, but we had two straps like spandex on at the front.
I remember your uniform.
And I'm like, we came a very long way. Today we have our nice black skirt, white top, and our tie. Now, when we first started, that's not what we started with. And when we first started, we started as a vocation tech for the first year with our spandex. And then the second year, it moved on to Goodwill Secondary when they changed the uniform into the black and the white and the tie. And definitely, the years spent at school had its ups and downs. We had the various teachers, like two teachers that made an impact was Edwina Doughton, who's now the principal of the Dominica Grammar School. Mm-hmm. When I left school, she's the only teacher I gave a prize and a gift because of the impact she had on my life and the things she said to me and helped to steer my course. Because going off track and off course at school, she called me and she said, listen, you have much more potential than that. You can do this, you can do that. And she basically guided and steered me through and said, I don't want to know from you. I know you have the potential. Push it. And I will make sure you push. I don't care. You can get vexed. You can cry. I will push you because I know you can reach that level and go further. And for that, I thanked her for that moment. She took the time out to sit me down and to tell me, hey, straighten your head. Take it out on the left and the right. Straighten your head. And Miss Warrington, that lived across from Convent High School, is no longer there, but she was our food and nutrition teacher. And Miss Warrington was a strict lady, but she also cracked a lot of jokes and taught us well. And in terms of your mannerism, your conduct, the way you carry yourself, what you do, you go in her food and nutrition class and you were looking out to go in it because apart from cooking cookies and snacks and getting to eat it, she always had that lecture to give you about being a better person. So, yes, we had our ups and downs. Yes, we had our times at school that certain things you just don't talk about. But definitely, we had that. And we had Principal Steve Hyacinth, we had Principal Jennifer Wallace Lafor, and we had Principal Miss Charles. So for those three principals were is who we passed. Well, I passed through my time and my pivotal years at the Goodwill Secondary School.
Let me just thank again all those who are on the live. Terry Olivache Bino saying CHS class of 87 representing, so that's good. Renick Thomas is on as well. Jacinta Banis, good morning to you. And Justina Henderson and so many people are on. But let's hear from Lubert Labad, Dominica Grammar School class of 1987. What, is at the front of your mind? What stands, stands out for you, as the most memorable experience at the Dominic Grammar School, you as an old boy of the DGS?
Yes, well, again, it's a long time. But one of the things that really stood out for me was at 14, 15 years old, to stand up to a company called Agro Industry. We had a protest as students because we had some black soot coming out from the chimneys of I think they were producing.
That's right next to the Josephine.
Right next to the grammar school.
Mm-hmm.
And the students decided that was not the scent. There was a scent, and we actually came together and had a protest. We stood up outside of the. I don't know if you probably remember that.
Mm-hmm.
The Low Black, which is and to see such young people had such leadership at that time to come out and say, no, this is not right. I'm coming out in my white shirt and all of this black stuff's coming on. And they made a change because they put a filter. And that was something that really stood out to me. The other thing that happened was I played steel pan. I don't know if anybody remember grammar school actually had steel pan. And it was such a pleasure to go down there with some of my classmates to play, and we actually played at our graduation. These are stuff that just comes in the forefront. Mr. Lockett, our principal at the time, when I started the school in first form, it was just amazed to me that he just knew everybody's name. And I always wondered, but we just came to school. How do you know everybody's name? He was a brilliant man with a great memory, I must say. A few other things I wanted to mention is I just wanted to say that I had a teacher that was that helped me a lot, but one of the things that stood out was her beauty, of course. That's Miss Diane Francis. A lot of the young men, that was
Past Carnival Queen as well.
That's our Halle Berry. So she walked into class and you just feel, okay, I have to work. I have to do something, So all those little things that come together, have that in my memory, just keep me, and I just enjoy that. I enjoy bringing back those memories here. And a lot more, but I will, too much to mention. And of course, people like Ivona and we always had this great connection within ourselves as classmates and always competing with each other. 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. It's 4 classes, and we grew up, as you said, together.
So Nigel, I had to bring in this aspect. I really wanted to hear from them, some of the memorable experiences at their respective schools. Nigel, when we come back to our end, I also want to look at some of the creative ways for past students to give back to their alma mater. But let's come back to you, Nigel.
Yes, definitely, and you will be finding out some of the individual projects that's going on. Somebody just mentioned you on the live. So, okay, I wouldn't read that one, because if I do, they'll say, they might probably know in terms of age what happens. But yes, I thought I wouldn't at school. They want to know if I taught you at school, so I won't answer that.
From what you said?
No, somebody wanted to know, did you teach Ivona? I said I won't answer that, but we'll leave that alone.
Yes, you taught me. You were not my class teacher.
But yes, I was teaching at the time when Ivona was there. I taught when Shelley's mom was.
Nigel is a former teacher.
And so on and so on and so on. But anyways, so what we want to do is, in terms of finding out like some of the individual projects that's going on with the different schools, different, what you actually giving back right now, a specific project that's happening. So I'm going to start here with over here first with Miguel. No, who? Okay, Miguel has given me directions like that, but it's difficult for me to figure it out. Are you the one that's going to talk like for a couple of minutes? Just tell us a little bit about the... Yes, okay, so you can come up here. Yes, yes. So Miguel Murphy is going to tell us a little bit about the SMA project in terms of what is actually going on. And then when he's done with that, Ivona, we're actually going to engage those who are here just for their comments and maybe ask them one or two questions as well. And then we come back with you in the studio for your guests, for our guests over in DBS. So yes, Miguel.
Let me welcome Miguel, Nigel, and let me say thank you again, because Miguel has done so much for us and he continues to do a lot for us.
Oh yes.
And as I'm speaking, my former principal is calling me. So Nigel, go ahead.
Yes, go take your call from your former principal. Yeah, but Miguel also promotes us, in terms of connecting the dots. So we appreciate it, Miguel. Thank you again for doing that, for sharing to let others know what's happening every Saturday. But tell us a little bit briefly in terms of that actual SMA project, what's going on, and what we're looking for.
Yes, thank you, Nigel, and good morning to all present and all listening in Dominica and across the world. And so the SMA, St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, is a formal organization established to support one of the key projects, the renovation of the Brother Egbert Germain wing, the roof on that building, which was launched when I was a student. And the classroom that you mentioned that's offline is actually WA4 mine, so I'm a little bit hurt. But we do have, an initiative to raise $180,000 US dollars, and so we're calling our alumni friends and family to join us in this cause. We've made immense progress in raising funds toward that toward that effort. And so www.smalumnifund.org is one way you can go to find out more about how to donate, and whether it's your time, talent, and we're definitely looking for your treasure. All right, and so we've made progress, but we still have a little more to go, and we're calling on you to help us and join forces. So not just our alumni, but our friends, family, and alumni in the wider, wherever you are in the communities that you are, we're encouraging you to tap into your networks to help us reach this goal. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Miguel. And of course, we'll be hearing from Grammar School and Convent some of the initiatives that they're having as well. So we want to find out from you who've been sitting here listening to this, and maybe you have your own thoughts in terms of giving back to your school, whether you should, shouldn't, or any comments that you may have that you want to share. We have our mic at the back here so that you can hear from you. I don't know who's going to be the brave soul there to begin doing the comments or asking a question or sharing some thoughts. Normally, if we don't find someone, then I just pick anybody. So, anyone wants to share of what the discussion has been going on so far as it relates to giving back to your alma mater? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, I pick somebody. That's a bad thing about this, So bring the mic up front. No, Shirley, not you yet. You probably figure, yeah, I know you're going to come to me. I was actually going to go to you, but before I go to you, I want to hear from Dr. Rondo in terms of course, MASAC, but in terms of giving back as well. And Dr. Carbon mentioned when you were here, and he was able to lean upon you, and maybe other students have been able to do that as well. Just a quick, brief idea in terms of giving back to your alma mater, whether it's your high school, your primary school, college. Your thoughts?
Good morning. Can you guys hear me good?
Hey, good morning.
Yes.
Right.
And we can focus. Yeah, okay, we can see him now.
All right, so as mentioned, my name is Dr. Winston. I serve as the Dean of School of Health Sciences at Miami-Dade College Medical Campus. So just a little background. So I went to MASAC Primary School when I left Dominica. So that's my education on the island. So I remember a couple of years ago when I actually went back home, I actually went to the school to actually talk to the kids, because I believe that that's where I came from, and you have to give back. giving back to the youth, the future, and showing, because we're all role models, we're all mentors, and mentorship is something that plays a big role in any society where you're looking at what's a succession plan, what are we going to be doing years from now, what's going to happen, because the kids, if you don't have role models, individuals that they can see are doing something who are actually positive, and it's not easy because in social media you see all this hype, you see all these things going on, but taking it, the people are everyday people who are doing things positive. When they're able to see that, when they're able to talk to those individuals and you could tell them the story, your own story of taking the hard way, using education to promote oneself and grow and giving back. That's the key. That's where I believe. And actually, as I'm listening to everyone on the panel and talking about how, mentorship plays such a big role, I get goosebumps from this because this is something I see that works each and every day. This is where we connect at the college, at Miami-Dade College, as, Miguel Murthy, Dr. Carbone, when we have individuals who are, from Dominica, where they connect with them to get them with the right folks to, hey, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? All right, let's give you some guidance. And it's not only Dominica, it's actually minority young men and women to really promote that. So that's where we're at. This is the synergy that's going on. And just, that's my thoughts on that.
Appreciate those thoughts. Appreciate those thoughts. And of course, we'll be having you as a guest on Connecting the Dots, just you alone, because we have to find out your story and what you've been doing. That's what we do when we get Connecting the Dots. We just reach out, we find somebody, right, Ivona? So he'll be a guest very soon as it relates to Connecting the Dots. Shirley, I wanted to ask you in terms of the fact that music, of course, Shirley from Signal Band, but you have music on one side, but you also have the academics as a graduate of Harvard as well, architecture and so on. What do you feel as it relates to you having to give back, whether it's through your music or whether it's through the academics, especially for young men?
Well, firstly, good morning to all the listeners, all the viewers. My name is Shirley. I am the lead artist at Signal Band, and in terms of giving back, I know as humans, sometimes we design to think of our last step as the immediate step that we ought to show gratitude to. And it's almost like a tree, when the flower might thank the branches, and the branches might thank the trunk. But ultimately, it all goes back to the roots. And sometimes it's easier, especially when you've gone a distance, it's kind of easy to forget the roots if you don't pay particular attention to it all the time along the journey. And I feel like I don't want to point fingers because I can sometimes be guilty of it. When I think about it a lot of times, especially the more successful I become, I think about my foundational years as a human being, even before being an artist, and before going to be trained in architecture school. I think about the impact that places like SMP and SMA, has played in that, and the impact that the people, not just the infrastructure, the building, the people that will there continue to play. Think about the first times that I went to a recording studio was because of my teachers at SMP. The first times that I won Calypso Crowns as a junior monarch was because of Ian Jackson and these people. So these are the foundational years of my career. And I think now, especially because I have a clear idea where I'm going, I can safely look back. And I think that's important. When you have a clear idea of where you're going, you can take that risk. Before giving back, you have to look back, so you have to be able to look back and see those foundational years. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yes, yes. That foundation, right? The foundation is key because you have to, the roots is what's going to do it for you. And like Shirley said, is before you can give back, you have to look back and see why I'm going to be giving back and who I'm going to be giving back to and the reason for giving back. Anyone else wants to share anything? Your opportunity. Yes? Okay, beautiful.
And as we wait, we just want to say a big thank you to Bullseye Pharmacy for making this possible, via Coffee and the others.
Definitely. Bullseye doing it big for us. You want me to ask you a question or you just give a comment?
Comment.
Comment. Okay, go right ahead.
Basically, when you go to high school, you buy yourself of citizenship. And that's how you have to treat your situation, the responsibility to giving back. Citizenship is earned after that 5 years or more being taught at the school. What was inputted into you, you have to now have an output. And the output is by giving back to your country, giving back to your fellow citizens, giving back to the nation, giving back to the world. So it's important that we make that effort in whichever way that we can to give back.
Definitely. Citizenship, I like that. So I know we're going to come back over here. I'm going to ask the panel a question, but before that, you want to say something, Ali? No? Yes? Okay, so you want me to ask you a question? No? Over here. Okay, yes. At the front over here, and then we come to the panel over here. Hey, I want to listen, man. This is interesting. This is a lovely way of connecting with our people and having this live audience here.
By the way, yes, let me just say, the former principal of the Dominica Grammar School, Anthony Lockhart, is extending, greetings to the former principal of the St. Mary's Academy.
Yes. You just sent me one too, yes. So, Mr. Anthony Lockhart, good morning to you. Thanks for the opportunity you give to me to teach at the grammar school as well. And of course, he wants to say, extend wishes to you, Brother Jermaine, as well. Right?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Question, comment? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Shamika Demosthenes. I currently attend Miami-Dade College, business major, second year. I am unfortunately, I am not Dominican, but I am from the Caribbean.
You became Dominican today, that's all right.
Thank you for that honor. Well, I just want to add that in terms of piggybacking on what he said on giving back, there's so many different forms we can give back, especially with the new age, how things have changed on social media, just by sharing a post or telling a friend about your culture, or whether it's just going up and showing out to various activities and representing. I just want to emphasize that representation matters no matter what part of the Caribbean you're from. We're all one people, we're all one family, and we need to be proud of that. And I just want to just say there's different forms of giving back, but make sure you actually show up and people see that you're actually there, you're trying, and you're trying to make a difference. Thank you.
What Caribbean country are you from?
I'm from the Bahamas, and I'm also Haitian.
Bahamas and Haitian. Let me ask you, as a young person, do you think that the young, and I'm going to ask everyone here too, so do you think the younger generation is probably, their focus is not so much on this giving back and being part of this and being part of that? We're just here for education, get a job, live a good life, bye.
I think that, speaking from my personal opinion, we don't get as much education as the prior generation did before us about our culture. Let's be real, we get our information online, TikTok and whatnot, and social media. Rarely someone actually sits us down and be like, hey, do you actually know where you're from? Do you know the history of your country? Do you know we did this, we did that? It takes time, and let's be real, most people don't have time. And when we ask these questions, we have to make sure we're asking the right questions, because people aren't willing to just, like I said, give that time out to us. And once we find people like mentors or like people that have been where we have not, fortunately they made a way for us, we just pour out. We just want that opportunity to just speak, honestly.
And because you don't know me, one of the things I like to do is put people on the spot. So do you think Miami-Dade College is doing that? Not because you can answer the truth.
Absolutely. Miami-Dade College motto is opportunity changes everything. And honestly, Miguel Murphy, like I said, I'm from the Bahamas. When I first moved to the U.S., I knew absolutely nothing. I didn't have anyone. And when I showed up to an event, that's how I met Miguel Murphy. And I found out that he's Caribbean, and immediately I locked in because I didn't know what's happening. And apparently he knows what's happening. And he was so open too. He wasn't like closed off. And other people like John, Susie in the back, I saw Susie, other people, not just him, they make us feel like we have a sense of community, like a home away from home.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, I know that's how we connect. So we'll connect with Bahamas one time too, and one connecting the dots. To the panel up here, and then we go back to DBS. To the panel up here, same question in terms of the generation gap, and maybe what the younger people, as she mentioned, more involved in the social media, the TikTok and so on. They then got time for all this history and learning and building and so on. Is that a fair assessment? Do we feel that the younger generation is maybe not so much as interested as we are in giving back and learning and so on? What's your thoughts on that? Jenny, you can go, and then Fabian can come down the line.
Okay, well, I would like to say that I do believe we are educated about, well, for FIU CSA, for what I do, I would have like fun facts posted on our social media because I know that can reach a wider audience. Or if there is news in Dominica or even other smaller islands, that I would have it posted because I know that's the way, honestly, to reach everyone in this generation is social media. So I use social media as a way to educate and, like she said, showing up. So my school may have an international showcase, and there's no one from Dominica, but I'm here. So I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up with my flag. I'm going to do all of that. So showing up, and we honestly have to use social media to get everyone to understand.
Yeah, I would agree with everybody that social media could be a vehicle to sort of like, promote giving back and staying more tight with the community. But most importantly, I think that education and building a culture with the new generation is very important. We don't have that. So there's a very small percentage of people that would see the need of giving back because how successful they have become. But majority of the people have not really gone through that path. So how can they be more in tune in giving back and being part of the community? Well, one way they can do that is by that learning institution letting them be aware of what the alumni has done to basically bring up the school and to provide. And by understanding that, I think we'll build a culture where people are going to understand that if I become, or when I become successful, is because of what has been done before my time, and then we'll just continuously build that. And that's going to be a big help moving forward.
So I want to say the younger persons do not want to give back. I think it is just the times that we're in. Back in my day, when I went to high school, my TikTok was reaching out to speak to the person next to me. That was my TikTok. My entertainment, where I developed the school spirit, was ensuring that I went to either a grammar school game or grammar academites game, go to some sports day or something like this. So we developed, that was our form of entertainment. Today, the form of entertainment is in your hand. It's TikTok. It is, do they even check Facebook anymore? But TikTok is the in thing. So persons are more engaged to things like TikTok and social media. Is it a problem, we might say? It can be, but then it presents itself with the opportunity, because now we have to use the media that they use to get to them. In addition to that, being a parent, I'm going to bring in the parenting. So especially here, those of us who are from the Caribbean, those of us who are from Dominica, it is how we socialize our children. Do we give them the kind of food that we eat, for example, in Dominica? How many of our kids here, for example, know what is a Bix? How many of them know McDonald's? So it is our responsibility as parents, especially of students who are born here or raised here, to continue to promote that attachment to your culture. And when you do, they would look forward to supporting not just your institutions at home, but in supporting Dominica and becoming citizens while they are citizens of the United States, but developing that kind of attachment to your home country, which will allow them to give back.
Well said too. So Brother Germany, same thing to you, but also you just whispered something which is so interesting to me, that in terms of SMP, your brainchild
Yeah.
of trying to create that SMP, St. Mary's Primary, by the way.
Okay.
So your thoughts on that, but also in terms of the whole generation and the social media and so on as well.
Okay, I know the social media has taken over right now, but I think we have to think of the foundation. You know, we were not just founded, we have a foundation, and the foundation is our roots. And without the roots, you know, the tree cannot grow, it will die. It's true we have social media, but we have to go back to the roots. We want to know as much of our roots as possible. So we should not neglect the roots. We should not neglect the foundation. It is absolutely necessary. So I encourage our youth, even with social media in our midst right now, do not forget your roots. Go back to your roots. Go back to your foundation. And in connection with the other thing is St. Mary's Primary. In 1979, Dominica was struck by a severe hurricane, Hurricane David, and education in Dominica, schools were wiped out. Schools were wiped out. And of course, when schools began again, very few schools, there were 2 sessions. Some went in the morning and some went in the afternoon. And the Bishop of Dominica and the Christian Brothers decided, you know, we have to do something about that, get more kids into school. And the bishop wanted to have another St. Mary's Academy, another school. And I was the one who said, no, not St. Mary's Academy. We have too many of the Rosa Boys School, the Rosa Mixed School, the primary school kids walking the streets. Let's build rather a primary school. And that was the foundation of St. Mary's Primary, and I was very, very instrumental in beginning St. Mary's Primary, although much more credit is given to me for the St. Mary's Academy New Wing. Going back to the New Wing, I can remember again, just to get more students at school, we had to add 3 little, I call them cubicles, so we could accommodate more students, give them the opportunity. And afterwards we said that 3 cubicles, that was not good enough. And then I decided we're going to have to build a wing. And some people thought I was really going beyond myself and I was going to put the brothers and the school in that. But we achieved building the new wing, which needs, repairs today. I mean, I was in Dominica recently. In fact, I am back in Dominica. And I saw the state of the new wing, and I said, oh, my God, look at this thing. And so let me make this appeal to our old boys, to our friends, to whomever, to please don't neglect your roots, don't neglect your country, don't neglect your school. And whatever is possible that you can do for the school and for your country, do it. It is much more blessed to give back than to have received.
I love that. I love that final plea there. SMA, old boys, alumni, friends, family, grammar school, convent, whoever. You probably have a family member who's been there. Please go and support and donate. Let me find out from Lubert and Brianna and Rhoda in terms of specific projects that they're doing, in terms of giving back, anything they want to share.
Yeah, and I also want them, whilst you're answering this, also to let us look at creative ways, for past students to give back as well. And they may also want to chime in on some of the comments that were made with your guests, Nigel. So let's go, Sabrina.
Okay. In terms of social media, which I was listening to Brother Jermaine talk about, going back to your roots, and yes, there's social media, but there is a way right now to adapt and transform and utilize social media to form the very connections that we're trying to, because this new generation, I mean, it's a generational thing. There is a lot more reliance on social media for connecting with people, and so it's a great avenue to use. I must commend Convent High School for having an awesome social media presence. They connect with their students, present and past. They, under the leadership of several, but present principal, Isabella Prentice, and her amazing staff of teachers. They have taken many awesome initiatives in connecting again, present and past. Just recently, we spoke about sports, and sports is such a unifying event for students, especially going back for decades. And recently, and I hope it's something that they continue every year. Recently, there was an alumni sports day, and it was a wonderful. I mean, all students, past students, showed up for the sports day, and it was competitive. Like we were all in first and second form. I mean, we came there in our house colors. It's an awesome way to connect. Awesome, and I really want to commend them for that. In terms of the initiatives, the stuff that needs to be done at Convent High School. Before I even go to that, I want to raise something that Nigel spoke about. You know, it is important for the impact that alumni associations or groups like ours are able to have, that the school is also doing their part to make that impact something that we both agree on, right? And so it is imperative for the school to incorporate past students. You asked for creative ways that might have been done. Right now, we're very limited to financial assistance, some mentoring, and of course, during graduation commencements, we choose from the pool of alumni to come back and address the graduating class. But it should be so much more than that. You know, it's very important that the schools are also open to it. For example, I'm here sitting, and I guess that's why I wanted to mention it. I'm sitting here and I don't have an in-depth agenda of what Convent High School really needs. I know what some of their initiatives are in terms of wanting to beautify the school grounds and make quiet little nooks along the yard of the Convent High School for students to utilize for studying and social gathering. And I also am aware that there is an entire wing that they need to renovate and outfit with, to make space for new classrooms, maybe computer lab, etc. However, I say all this to say that while we try to engage with the school, I think it's important also for the school to engage with us and take advantage of the fact that we are here and we are willing. I should be able to come now and speak about every single aspect of Convent High School. You know, what is needed now, where they at. I know a lot of the initiatives that they've taken. I'm super proud of them. Besides the social media presence that they have an awesome, I mean, I use the word awesome all the time for Convent High School, but they have an awesome online portal for students and teachers to collaborate. We didn't have that during our time, and I mean, I've been privy to some of what they allow, how they allow their parents to keep track of their children and how the teachers are able to collaborate, and it's amazing. And so we would love to be able to continue to partner with them and help to grow even more amazing opportunities and initiatives for the students. And so I really am appealing to the schools. Please take advantage of your alma mater groups. It's important, touch base with them, send them an email once a month. Say, this is what is happening. This is where we need your help. Because the class of 89, I mean, I spoke about the fact that, we're the class of 89, and we came about really because another year, the class of 87 was sort of showing us up, and we were like, no, well, we need to do something too. And we got together. We are a group of very diverse students. we have diverse resources, a lot of professionals, lawyers, doctors, agriculturalists, human resource specialists, designers, architects. I mean, our group is extremely diverse. We bring a lot to the table. Not saying that other years don't have the same diversity, but we bring a lot to the table, and we would love to be able to share those resources. Within a day or two of mobilizing our group, we were able to raise over $5,000 and be able to donate that to the Convent High School. It just gives you a small glimpse into the potential that we have. You know, when we sound the call that Convent High School girls are there at the ready, be it with $20 US, 50 EC dollars, we show up, and that echoes something that I've heard those in Florida say. It's important to show up, and we show up. So please take advantage of it. We are here. I also wanted to mention one of what we hold near and dear to us is the award that we sponsor at Convent High School, one of the awards, which is for leadership in community and taking initiative, because we believe that community spirit has to continue being encouraged. It is that look back at your roots, like we say, that is very important, because we honor it as what has propelled us forward. So yeah, that's
good. So Lubert, let me just hear from you as well, and
yes,
in reference as well to what Sabrina mentioned about diversity. So I wanted to look at that because I know the class of '87, and there are other groups as well. So not just the class of '87. There are other years that are giving back to the school, and they're doing that in a very big way. And we'll see that very soon again, especially because graduation, you know, is coming up. So Lubert, you can speak about this diversity that Sabrina spoke about as well, because we also have the mentorship program going on. We once had the greenhouse project going on. You know, the monthly contribution to the school, the pastoral care, you know, and things like that. So you can speak to this as well.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot that I think we've done in the few years that the 87 graduates have been actually a formal organization, registered. And one of the things I wanted to mention, thank you very much, Ivona, for again giving us that opportunity. And I just want to give a short story with our mentorship program. We visit some of the students at their homes, and it was important for that because the connection is important with the students. And we went to one of the students.
And across the country, we go lapping daily everywhere.
Yes, Ivona was the bus driver. Let me tell you, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun going around the country, visiting the students. And we were at one of the students' home, and we were walking away, and Ivona started shedding a tear. I turned around and I'm like, what? What's happening? So she's like, you know, it's so nice to see us going around and meeting the students, you know, and that's one of the things I want.
Because it dawned on me right there. Look at what we are doing. We are doing so much.
Yes, it was really impactful. And one of the things I want to mention was that we talk about giving back a lot, but it's also we can give back time, because the students now, as Sabrina mentioned, a lot of them sometimes are disconnected. Some students are disconnected, and that's where we come in to kind of bring them back. And we have all of these resources out there, and now it's time for us to bring it in. And Sabrina mentioned something with the Convent High School having this portal, and I think with 87 graduates, we need to look more into that. One of the creative ways you mentioned having a creative way to bring in resources here and funds and some sort of support. I know most people usually travel during the Independence time, Christmas, Carnival. And I'm thinking maybe we could have this collaboration with the alumni, with the students, you know, to meet them one-on-one and probably have a games night, maybe have a sports day or something. And that way you feel more connected, because I feel like people have their lives and they just move along with their lives. And it's like now and then they'll say, oh yes, the grammar school needs something. but we need that connection. So we, as you mentioned, Ivona, we need to be more creative to bring in the resources, because there's a challenge already for the financial part. We do have connections in the United States and in the other places to collect funds to further send it to Dominica, but we need funds. We give $1,000 in the pastoral care a month for having the breakfast program. We do scholarships. Ivona herself, she's very humble, gives an award at the graduation. So there's a lot that we do, and we need those resources. Thank you, Ivona.
Great, and I like the fact that you mentioned the connection. The connection is needed. It's one thing for past students to come together and give back to a school, but if you are in the country where that school is, obviously, if you're in Dominica, it would be nice as well to have the connection with the students, the present-day students of that school, mentorship program and things like that, games nights, as Lubert said. But let's hear from you, Rhoda. I'm looking at the time. We don't even have much time again. So let's hear from you.
No problem. And I'm listening to everything that is being said, and what comes to mind is, again, how do we give back? And one of the key things I believe that we are missing is, whilst we don't have a student or a child of our own going to that school, I believe that the high schools should look at key stakeholders, meaning key alumni that has gone to the alma maters, gone to those schools, put a group together, not outside of the PTA, that can just look at how do we raise funds, how do we give back to the high schools. For instance, I don't have any child going to the Good Secondary School where I went, but I run a non-profit organization, Business and Professional Women, and my daughter goes to Convent High School. And from that organization, we give an award and cash to the two business students, the top business student and the most promising business student at the Convent High School. That is something that we're looking to bring into. I've had discussions with Goodwill Secondary School, which is my alma mater, because I feel bad that we're giving to Convent High School and we're not giving to my alma mater, and that discussion is ongoing. So hopefully we can give back to the graduation. But even more than that, can we pool a core group of students, especially as the founders, so to speak, of the school, that can actually give a little bit of guidance and a greater support for the development of the schools. And that is one of the ways we can give back.
Because I also wanted to ask, though, before we go back to Nigel, yes, we have different youths forming their groups, but what about an umbrella body?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
An alumni association. I think we can generate more from this. We can unlock more opportunities, because of this umbrella body, networking opportunities, career support, and so many things that we can derive from something like that. Quickly, Sabrina, you want to give your take on this? An umbrella organization and alumni association. You will still have, be part of your own class of 89. But
most definitely, I think that would be actually even more impactful. I mean, because together is where you really make the impact, So not just the class of 89, but several other classes. Like I mentioned before, it was another class who sort of showed up, and we, the class of 89, got sort of slighted. Why are we not doing something? Look, 87 is doing something. And so it sort of encouraged us to also to come up. But it's by having one umbrella where we have all the years and it's being coordinated. I mean, think about the potential. Think about that potential. What we were able to do. And again, we have to talk about the school's willingness to also play their part in helping to form such a thing. It's all well and good that we as past students want to bring other past students together, but as a school, you can play your part in calling all the years to come and register on your social media platform, and then making a decision from there. In fact, they may have better reach than just 1 year graduating class. They may have greater reach in terms of getting more years to come on board. And then let's look at umbrella alumni association. Like you said, I think it would be even more to their benefit, to the benefit of our alma mater.
You share that view as well, Lubert, quickly?
Definitely. We definitely need a database, you know, and try to reach out to as many people as possible, and see if we come up with a committee, and we can plan. We can definitely pull something together. Definitely.
We can even have Dr. Andrew Cabon on this. Nigel, let me come back to you. We are running out of time already.
Yes, definitely. We'll be getting like the final comments and so on from our panel here. They probably have their own views on what was just mentioned, the umbrella organization, you know, some of the other points that were looked at in social media, and more so in terms of the school also being the ones to reach out as well, or keeping that connection. So as we kind of wind up, let me find out from you guys in terms of your final thoughts on this. Let me also say that this is, like we mentioned, just the first in the series that we'll be having. So we'll be having other schools that we can talk to, you know, Castleboro Secondary, Portsmouth Secondary, Isaiah Thomas, and all the other schools that are available that's doing stuff, Community High School and all the rest. So get on board with this.
Nigel, let me just hold your thought, Nigel. As you're saying this, I'm also thinking how far we can make this go, you know, Nigel. Apart from schools, we can talk to other organizations as well. You know, different.
And that is the goal. That is definitely the goal that we have. Yes, for sure. You know, so SMA Alumni Association, South Florida here. This is also a meet and greet for SMA students, that we can continue ensuring that we give back. So once this session is done and we have the final session where we actually focus on SMA, just to let those in the other areas know this is an ongoing thing. So we should be heading to Maryland and to Atlanta and to New York and all the different places to have the meet and greet with SMA students, and a similar panel where we will have other students from other schools in the different states that will be going through.
Your question as well. Let me just interrupt again and just say a big thank you to all the people on Facebook and on YouTube, Nigel, because we have questions coming in, we have comments, we have a lot, you know, we have
a lot going on in the book, as we always have. Quite a bit of comments and questions and all those that I would normally go to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel and say thank you and read all the comments. It's a little different format, but as always, thank you for connecting. And again, Saturdays 9 to 11, DBS Radio. Janine, final comments on this as it relates to giving back to your alma mater, as it relates to you ensuring that Dominica continues to be represented, the Caribbean continues to be represented. We're small, but we're still big, you know. So, your comments.
Well, for me, I will continue to advocate and make it known that Dominica is here, not only within FIU, but within the whole Florida Caribbean Student Association. I will make sure that they know what we have to offer.
Appreciate it, and thank you so much for joining us on the panel this morning.
Thank you.
And we look forward to continue good things with you, man. Fabian?
Yeah, I totally agree with the everybody that's in the DBS studio, that having an alumni association contact locally is going to help bridge the gap between us and the schools in Dominica. Also, it's not that very difficult to locate people that have gone through high school in Dominica. For example, if you look on Facebook and you search, for example, SMA, you'll see everybody that has gone to SMA High School, Grammar School, Goodwill School, and these other schools. So having one single point of contact locally that can be a representation of the school, and maybe even give them a title of social media manager or something like that, and have them reach out and connect all of the people that have graduated from high schools in Dominica could be one way to start. And for me personally, I've collaborated with the Dominica Amateur Athletic Association to adopt an athlete. So I'll be doing a lot of mentorship throughout the year, and I'm also working on a project in Mao to build a sports center. So I'm trying my best to do as much as possible to give back, and then of course with the SMA Alumni Association as well. So we just have to continue working together to promote as much as possible.
Appreciate you being here. One.
Thank you. Yes, I support the establishment of the Alumni Association. And one of the things that can be done in addition to the Alumni Association, as one of the panelists said, is developing that database of alumni and constantly communicate. An email doesn't cost that much to send out to say, here's what we're doing at SMA, here's what we're doing at grammar school, here is what we intend to do, and here is what we need your support. I mean, yes, we hear some of us live really, really busy lives, but if we have that kind of connection, if we understand what is happening at home and how our support sometimes is needed, we would be more than happy to reach out and support. In addition to that, being from Dominica Grammar School, I would like to also extend the invitation to former alumni of Dominica Grammar School to help the SMA with the project that they have now. Because yeah, it's not about SMA. Yes, it is for SMA, but it is not about SMA. Because who benefit from SMA? It is the students of Dominica. And if we as fellow, as alumni, as friends of SMA can contribute to their project, we will be helping our younger ones with the same opportunities that we've had, and the opportunity is one of these days not to be given fish, but to learn how to fish for themselves. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And very quickly, I'm sure that the Miami-Dade itself has an alumni association, and that you and others who are here would want to let our Dominican students know that they can always reach out to any one of you. Because listen, man, coming up here to study is not easy. I remember when I went to FAU and I had to navigate my way through. It wasn't very easy. So I'm pretty sure that you would want them to know that, hey, you can connect and we'll give back just as much.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I'll tell you that Miami-Dade College does very well is to keep in touch with the alumni. We do that. We receive emails all of the time. And alumni, especially those who've been successful, they're highlighted in the media. The institution sends out this newspaper, and just recognizing people so that students who are here at Miami-Dade can see those who've gone before them, what they've done, what they've done, how they contribute back to the institution. And because of that, we develop that school spirit. One of the things that you will see, if you look at every one of our packing decals, it says, I am MDC. So we're always reminded that you have an attachment to the institution. Those are some of the things that we can continue to do here, but also develop in our institutions in Dominica to continue that kind of attachment to our institution and our country.
Thank you, and of course we'll go to Brother Jermaine for the final, because this is the focus here as we try to develop the Brother Egbert Jermaine wing of the SME and the Roof Project. On behalf of Connecting the Dots, though, we want to thank Miami-Dade College for, being part of this process with us, for live streaming as well on the Miami-Dade College page as well, so that's just being streamed through the students throughout. And we appreciate the hospitality that you gave to us. Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you, Miguel and company, for ensuring this happen. We'll do it again. This is the whole idea of connection and ensuring that we have that collaboration, so much appreciation. Brother Jermaine, your final thoughts. This is about us in terms of SME and everything else, but it's also in terms of education. Your final thoughts.
I want to thank the group for thinking in the way they have been thinking about doing something for Dominica, doing something for SME. I think it is necessary, and I hope people will, this will extend into a big group and something that will be continued. I want to say two other things. Number one, an observation. Obesity is becoming rampant. And why do I say that? But let me begin with St. Mary's Academy first of all. Let me say that the motto of St. Mary's Academy is ora et labora, pray and work. I believe in prayer, but I believe in hard work too. Without hard work, you're not going to achieve anything. The motto of the Dominica Grammar School is mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind in a sound body. And I think it is necessary to have a healthy body. Without having a healthy body, we cannot work. And if we can't work, we can't help others because we have nothing to give. If we're healthy, then we can work, we can even prolong life. Obesity is rampant, and I think we should be careful. Sports are excellent, exercise is excellent, and I recommend sports, exercising, walking, jogging, running, and watching the things that we eat, and guard ourselves against obesity, because obesity shortens life. And if our life is so short, then the longer our life is, the more we can do. So this is my hope, that in addition to helping schools and helping the country, help ourselves, healthy bodies. Mens sana in corpore sano. Thank you.
You are, he's 89, right? And still standing strong here. Thank you so much, Brother Jimmy. Thank you, panelists. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you, Fabian, Dr. Carbon, Andrew, Brother Jimmy, Miguel, all those who were here, who chit-chatted first, Sylvester, Shirley, the young lady from Bahamas. I didn't get your name, but thank you for your contribution as well. Shana, right? Shamika, I know it's a S. Thank you very much. And of course, the second part of the final part of the event continues in a while. Thank you to our caterers back there. We appreciate it. Carol, Elias, Jennifer. Thank you. And I wanna listen, man.
I have to get close remarks from my guests as well. I mean,
Kisa?
Yes, Nigel.
Yes, but you have to thank Bullseye. I mean, without Bullseye, definitely Bullseye Pharmacy. Val Coffee, we appreciate you and thank you so much for sponsoring this particular event and being part of the process. Listen, man, Ivona, this was wonderful. This was great. Much connection and everything else. And we do it again because, we have to continue the process.
That we could have talked about that, we just did not have the chance to and the time to do. But I'm really, Nigel, energized by this movement that I know that we're going to start because of this. So let me get closing remarks from you, Rhoda. We'll hear from Lubert, we'll hear from Sabrina, and then we'll end because we have another program on. Yes, so let's hear from you.
Thank you very much for having us on, and we look forward to bigger and better things as we support our schools and support the upcoming generation.
What was the motto of your school, by the way?
What
about your school song? What about your school song? Do you remember?
We wrote our school song. It's a gentleman.
Those SMA fellas are there. Not sure they remember the school song, which is a bit bad. We should make them
our
sing
school
it.
song had to go to secondary school.
What is the name of the school song? Okay, all right.
School song?
No, but I hope when I ask you what the motto, we just said it.
Good morning, Shelley. How are you, my darling?
Nice. Yeah, let's.
That is not the program for that.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Nigel, and Brother Jumin, and the rest of the panel. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being on this panel, and Sabrina and our Rhoda. I appreciate being with you guys. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
No, I feel more energized. I'm Lubert to do more. I know earlier on when we started the program, I mentioned that I had abdicated some of my responsibilities, but I think the onus is on me now to do as much as I can, whilst I still have the energy to do that. So let's see how things can change.
Yes.
Sabrina, yes.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all the contributors of the show. Really appreciate it. Very engaging discussion. I hope it's the first of many. Like you said, it is the first of many. Maybe we can even come back on and deal with schools individually because there's so many things going on with individual schools. So I wanted to big up my group, class of 89. Big up to you. Happy Saturday.
You want to give some names? I know you won't remember everybody.
I have a lot of names. We have Karen Chambers, Marilyn Georgie, Ruby Blah, Francine Barron, Anne-Marie Clark, Sherma, Ronald, Marika, Natasha, we're 36 right now. The 36 of us, which is sort of ironic because we're from class of 89, which is 36 years ago. But a whole bunch more students missing. Please, if you are listening to this program or watching this program today and you're from class of 89, we have a Facebook page, CHS class of 89. Please reach out so that you can get added by our admin to our group chat. Very engaging. We aim to try to do stuff again to support and guide our alma mater. So thank you for the opportunity to come on today. I hope we get invited again to come on
Sure,
and bring some
sure.
of, more of the alumni from my group.
A little bit quickly, 10 names if you can remember.
Oh,
Just have
man.
about 2 minutes.
Well,
You
for
want to
what,
give? I can help you, Lubert, but go ahead.
definitely, I mean, Gloria, Walsh, Rebecca, Grace, Timothy, I gotta call the guys there, Michael, Daniel, man, if I miss anybody name, I really call Uma, definitely.
Yes, Uma,
man,
yes,
you gotta
yes.
call Uma.
Muriel, there's
And
so many of them.
yes, so many people in there, Joffrey. So, again, thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah, and how can people reach out? Or the staff, not staff, or the classmates, former classmates, how can they reach out?
Yes.
Who are not on?
Well, we have a WhatsApp group chat, and we are on Facebook. Hopefully, you can reach out to us via Facebook or reach out to us by one of the other students. And we add it to a WhatsApp group. I think we have 100 and something at this point. So, because I think our
Very,
class,
very active, huh? Very active.
yes, and very active. Every day something is going on, and so I must say that we have a very active group, and hopefully we can continue with a lot more students coming in.
Quickly, Rhoda, some names.
Definitely Shepitovas, Zealots. You have Glorine Thomas. You have Andrew Elwin. There's quite a few of us out there.
All right, Nigel. So that's it. We have to end. But Nigel, next week, let's see how we can make this happen again. And the week after as well, we'll also have some of the top students of graduation, on with us. So for the next Saturdays, that's the focus for us. Right, Nigel?
Yes, my dear. We connect again as always. Much appreciation. We've been doing this for the past 4+ years, so we keep doing it. Thanks again to everybody. Appreciate you being here and spending the time with us, those who are live, and of course, as always, those who are logged on to DBS Radio. We appreciate it as well. Connect again next week, my dear.
Okay. Thank you to all of you, Sabrina. Thank you, Lubert. Thank you, Rhoda. And let's make something happen. Let's make something happen. Let's do it. Yeah. All right. So that's it on Connecting the Dots, and all of those who joined us on social media. We thank you so much today. Because of the nature of today's program, we did not have enough time to go, and read some of the comments and the questions and the suggestions that you made. But we thank you, Facebook family, YouTube family, CTD family. We'll do it again some other time. Take care.
Yes, yeah. Okay, I think the program went very well, In
front of the table?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Um, like 11 years.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the second segment. So if you can please grab your seats. We expect to be completed by noon. All right, again, if we can grab our seats so we can continue with the program. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the second segment. So if you can please grab your seats. We expect to be completed by noon. And again, if we can grab our seats so we can continue with the program. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the second segment. If you can please grab your seats. We expect to be completed by noon. And again, if we can grab our seats so we can continue with the program. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the second segment. If you can please grab your seats. We expect to be completed by noon. And again, if we can grab our seats so we can continue with the program. All right, so we're going to get started with the second segment. If you can please grab your seats. And
Check 1, 2. You're watching. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. Do you happen to have the stream on? Does anyone on this connection have the live stream playing? Does anyone have the live stream playing?
All right. Darwin, All right, so welcome back, everyone. We're going to continue with Yes, if we can take our seats so we can get started. All right, so welcome back, everyone. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed chairman, actually the mastermind behind putting a lot of us together and recruiting me. Personally, I appeared on Connecting the Dots some time ago, and immediately, maybe within hours, I had a phone call from a strange 407 number up in Atlanta, and I was wondering, like, what's scam? What is it? But I was able to pick up, and it was Alvin Thomas recruiting me to be a part of this wonderful initiative to really, in a strategic, organized, coherent way, give back to our alumni and bring everyone into the fold. So it is my honor to turn it over to him for his remarks. Mr. Thomas?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miguel. Can you hear me loud and clear? And of course, see me as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Let me say a pleasant good morning, Mr. Moderator, for moderating today's event, Mr. Miguel Murphy, Executive Director, and Student Engagement and Community Partnership. And to our esteemed alumni, I also want to recognize Dr. Andrew Carbon, Dean of Students, Miami-Dade College, West Campus, as well as Brother Egbert Germain, SMA former principal, and also with us on this slide is SMA Principal, Mrs. Sylvia John Baptist, faculty and staff of Miami-Dade College, West Campus, student leaders, partners, and friends of St. Mary's Academy. It is both an honor and a privilege as chair of the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, Incorporated, to present a few brief remarks to you today on the occasion of this impactful event hosted by Miami-Dade College, where we gathered to reinforce commitment to what I would describe as student empowerment and community engagement. As we come together, alumni of St. Mary's Academy, along with students, organization leaders, and other dedicated community partners, we engage in a vital dialogue that extends beyond our individual experiences. Today, we aim to cultivate connections and collaborations that will benefit not only our alumni community, but also the wider Caribbean and especially our beloved Dominica. Our gathering symbolizes a collective effort to nurture the future generation of students at St. Mary's Academy. Through the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, Incorporated, we're embarking on a journey to ensure that all students have access to the tools, resources, and supportive environment they need to thrive academically and professionally. Our goal today is clear. It is to solicit your support for the SMA Fund, but also to support initiatives being undertaken by other alma maters through strategic fundraising, meaningful partnership, and alumni engagement. Together, we can foster an ecosystem where our students are empowered to reach their full potential and contribute positively to society. I just listened to the Connecting the Dot program, and it was so enlightening to hear the other alumni from Convent High School, the Goodwill Secondary High School, the grammar school, and we at SMA would be happy to partner with them and help provide the template to structure what we have been able to do here at St. Mary's Academy. An immediate area needing support at the Academy, as has already been mentioned, is the restoration of the roof of the Brother Egbert Germain Wing, which was damaged from Hurricane Maria in 2017 and now severely compromised and rendering some negative impact on the learning environment for the students at the Academy. Bear in mind that damage was done as way back as 2017. We're into 8 years of that damage. As chairman of the St. Mary's Academy Infrastructural and Development Fund Incorporated, I wish therefore to make a special appeal to the many SMA alumni, friends of St. Mary's Academy, as well as benefactors listening through this live stream to help support this initiative by making your donations and contribution to the fund, details of which will be provided during the course of today's event. I encourage all of you to engage openly in today's discussion. Share your visions and explore opportunities where we can collaborate to bring about impactful change. Your presence here reflects a shared commitment to uplifting our community and inspires us all to strive for excellence. Thank you for being here, for your unwavering support, and for believing in the mission of St. Mary's Academy. I would like to make special mention of Shelley of Signal Band, who is currently at the event today. Also, as I understand it, Colton T is likely to call in, and also Olympian Fabian Flora, all three being SMA alumni, who are lending their voices and support to this SMA initiative. Thank you very much, guys. Let us work together to create a brighter future for our students and for generations to come. In closing, I extend my best wishes to the faculty and staff at Dade College, Miami-Dade College, as well as to the many partners here today for continued success in your various undertakings. With warmest regards, let's continue to have a very successful event today. Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for our chairman, Mr. Alvin Thomas, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. So next up, we have our bishop, Kendrick John Forbes, unable to be with us on live, but definitely shares his remarks, which you will hear from him now.
Beloved in Christ, peace be with you. It's an honor to address you, the members of St. Mary's Academy, South Florida alumni. I also acknowledge the presence and participation of various community partners, the Caribbean Student Association of Miami-Dade College, the Florida Caribbean Students Association, as well as all who are participating in this initiative. As you gather on this occasion of engagement and collaboration, I pray that our gracious God may grant success to all your endeavors and plans. Occasions such as this provide opportunities for the sharing of experiences, the exchange of ideas, the cultivation of relationships, as well as the exploration of ways to support ongoing initiatives in our region. An initiative that I would like to highlight is one that is organized by SMA's South Florida alumni. St. Mary's Academy has a storied history. The institution has been instrumental not only in forming minds, but in building character. The SMA South Florida alumni are seeking to raise funds to repair the roof of one of the Academy's buildings. The roof was badly damaged during Hurricane Maria in 2017 and needs much repair. I would invite you to consider supporting this initiative, which is designed to improve conditions at the school and to provide an environment conducive to learning. Your support of this project will assist in the creation of an atmosphere better suited for educating the entire person. I take this opportunity to thank all of you for your participation and to acknowledge the support SMA alumni have always extended towards your alma mater. I pray for God's abundant favor on all. I wish you every grace, every blessing.
All right, so that was our bishop, Kendrick John Forbes. Let's give him a round of applause for it. his remarks. So next up, we're going to hear from our current principal of the Academy, Mrs. Sylvia John Baptiste, and she will be brought up shortly on the live stream.
Okay, go ahead. A pleasant good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of our Florida St. Mary's Academy alumni. The Dean of Students at the Miami-Dade College, Dr. Andrew Carbon, Brother Egbert German, past principal of St. Mary's Academy, student leaders, community partners, invited guests. I bring you warm greetings from the administration, staff, and students of the St. Mary's Academy from the native island of the Commonwealth of Dominica. It is a great pleasure to be with you today at this joint initiative hosted by the Miami-Dade College. Together, we celebrate the enduring spirit and legacy of St. Mary's Academy, while also looking forward to the bright future we build for our students. Today's gathering is not just an event. It is a powerful platform for dialogue and connection with alumni from St. Mary's Academy here in Florida, alongside leaders from our various student organizations and community partners. We have come together to engage in discussion that matter most: educational empowerment and community development in Dominica, as well as within the wider context of the Caribbean and within our own school community. I am excited to introduce the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, Incorporated, an initiative that holds the potential to profoundly impact the lives of future generations at St. Mary's Academy. As principal, I can speak directly to the positive impact that educational empowerment and community development have on the lives of these young men at St. Mary's Academy. As I address you this morning, I am perforce to draw your attention to the current conditions surrounding the roof of one of our wings, the Brother Egbert Germain wing, the roof of which was damaged during the passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017 and is in need of replacement. It is our hope that through this St. Mary's Academy Infrastructure and Development Fund, Incorporated, and with generous contributions from persons like yourselves, we would be able to undertake the restoration of a new roof. This, I am confident, is possible through strategic alliances and partnership, exactly what is taking place here today. And yes, I fully endorse this initiative and can only hope to see similar initiatives undertaken in other cities around North America, as well as Canada and the United Kingdom, where I am sure we will find several St. Mary's Academy alumni. Our St. Mary's men are all over the globe. As we advance the mission and legacy of St. Mary's Academy, I encourage each of you to reflect on how you can contribute to this vital effort. Your support today will help empower our students and reinforce our commitment to excellence in education. Thank you for being here, for your continued passion for St. Mary's Academy, and for believing in the bright futures we can create together. Let us make this day one of inspiration, collaboration, and meaningful impact. I thank you.
Thank you, Principal John Baptiste. And, you know, as an alumnus of St. Mary's Academy, I'm just overwhelmed with, you know, from connecting the dots to our chairman's remarks and yours just presenting, you know, what is possible in the active connection that we do have with St. Mary's Academy and the young men that are there right now. And so you've heard a lot about, you know, St. Mary's Academy through the voice of Brother Jermaine, through Nigel, and that we do need your help. So I'm going to give you an overview again, a reminder of who we are and why we need your support. So if we could switch the slide. Yes. Yes. So you've heard a lot about it, but you know, just want to remind you that we are purpose driven, and this is a purpose-driven initiative, alumni-led. You heard from Alvin. I was honored when he called me, and you know, a lot of times we focus on our year. I was class of 1998, so I could tell you all of my classmates that year. But when he reached out and he was like, I'm alumni of the early 80s, I was like, oh, generations. And then, oh, I'm starting to learn a lot more about the fact that we've been there from 1932, right? Starting with just about a dozen young men. And then to having Brother Jermaine give us a little more on the history of St. Mary's Primary, right? This solidifies the importance. And we're not just here just for the roof. We're here to resolve that and to continue raising funds and mentoring the current students and building our alumni network for ages, right? So that it's sustainable. So a little bit about who's involved in this project. I'm just going to name a few. The principal, of course, you've heard from Alvin, you've heard from Patrick Alexander over there in Atlanta, Stephen Astafan, and you could see this is a diverse group of prominent individuals in various fields, not only contributing to this current project, but also in the upcoming academic year, we're going to go full force with our mentorship, ensuring that our young men on or in the academy, particularly fourth and fifth form, are hearing from us and you, the alumni, here today and listening everywhere worldwide. So Dave Bellet, Kamal Benoit, Oswald Bertrand, retired. And part of what I appreciate about this group is I'm mentored by all of them, especially the retired ones that have a lot of time on their hands that just call me. So I do appreciate that type of informal, organic mentorship that comes from this core group, but also others from the academy. Ackroyd Birmingham, an accountant. Kervin Daniel up at University of Florida, who would have been here but unable to do that due to another commitment. Michael Davis, our attorney. Tim Durand, media personality. You know, when we said we needed a press release done, he's like, yeah, we'll get it out for you. So appreciative of that. Nigel is here. Appreciate you. I definitely have taught me how to navigate being here in this physical space in the present, but also not forgetting how to navigate, you know, homeland and being connected to the academy, our village, Dominica, the Caribbean on a whole. So I appreciate you for that. Sylvester Henry, you are here. Dr. Cordell Lazar is back home. Dr. Jeffrey, you brought the food this morning. Yes, thank you. Trevor Tossie Johnson, Leonard Joseph, who actually made it possible, you know, giving us your number, Brother Jermaine. Gary Moore up in Maryland, myself, I have been with Miami-Dade College, really all my adulthood. So I'm grateful for this space that has allowed me to thrive and, implement the things that are imagined and have been able to help me manifest a lot of that. Tarek Roll, who's back on island. Wayne, thank you. I know you're out there definitely helping me with the tech and the sound, making sure everyone can hear everything that's happening here clearly. And our master networker, Rennick Thomas. So this is a short list of alumni involved, and this is open to all. Alumni in terms of giving back, and definitely reach out to us. We'll give you our contact information. So you heard a lot about the roof. That's WA4. I mentioned it was my class. WA Wadi Astafan 4. That's sort of the logic there. Offline, and so, we want to bring this back online. And so we have a goal of 180,000 US as it stands. As I mentioned earlier, we are making progress, but we have a lot of work to do. And so one of the ways that you can donate is...
You're muted, we're not hearing you.
One of the ways that we can donate is through our website, www.smaalumnifund.org. You can go there, you can either do a monthly contribution, right, or one-time donation. We recommend monthly or at least $360. As we say, as an alumni, US dollars if you're in the US, if you're back in the Caribbean, there's another formula, but definitely we want you to make a substantial contribution. And once you've done that, not just stop, but help us identify other alumni that is able to, learn about what we're doing and also give as well. That's our email. We have a Bank of America account that you can Zelle to if you prefer that, or you can go to the bank directly. I want to say the most efficient way is through the website, donate in there, but again, we have these options. If you are in Dominica, we have an account over at the National Bank, and if you prefer Mo Banking, we can definitely get you the information. Any of the names that I mentioned can get you the information. I'm sure you're connected, or you can reach out to us via email. Those of you here, we can definitely give you the information. Alumni in the group, I know it's a link, but definitely want to make sure that you're a part of our database so that you stay in tune with what we're doing. So the next convening, whether it's in Atlanta or Maryland or New York, this will definitely let you know, what we're doing so that you can get engaged. Friends of Alumni, we have a survey for you as well. If you're interested in making a contribution and to the tune of what you would like to make that contribution. So as far as how to get in contact with us, stay informed, we're pretty much on every platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Definitely urge you to connect with us on LinkedIn. That's the professional space, and over time we want to connect our young men on island to the group that's in that professional network so they can, have the immediate access and see what you're doing in your spaces. So it doesn't take them a long time to learn what you've taken a certain time to learn. TikTok, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, that's our email and our website. So at this time, I want to spotlight a few of our alumni. Two will be virtual and one will be here or is here with us in person. So at this time, I want to turn it over to Colton T, who will be with us live and just share, what year you introduce yourself, what year you graduated from the academy, what year you graduated from the academy, and if any impact memories that you've had with our group listening here in person and live.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Again, just formally introduce myself. My name is Colton Thomas, better known as Colton T. I graduated in the year of '07. I was actually like the head boy of the St. Mary's Academy. I mean, most people know me right now, like I do music. I'm not sure too many people are familiar with the fact that I went to SMA, but yeah, I'm a proud SMA graduate. It's a pleasure to basically join you guys here today.
Thank you, Colton. And so Colton and the others you will hear from are but many of the illustrious alumni of SMA that you will learn, and will make an effort to bring all of our alumni and spotlight our alumni to the world. So the next, thank you, Colton, that we have is Mr. Tony John Baptiste. And Tony is over in Toronto, Canada, and we'll turn it over to him as our second alumni spotlight. All right, Tony, if you can unmute, be awesome.
Sorry. Good day. It is both an honor to participate in St. Mary's Academy, South Florida Alumni Convening, not just as an offer, but a proud alumni of St. Mary's Academy, class of 1985. St. Mary's Academy did not just educate me, it formed me. It laid the foundation for my values that I carry today: discipline, compassion, integrity, and a commitment to youth and community development and social change. This book, Legacy in Action: How One Man Has Transformed a Generation of Men, was born from this foundation. It is a tribute to a man who embodied those values with quiet strength and unwavering resolve, Brother Egbert Germain. He was more than an educator. He was a father. He was also the leader of a movement. Through his leadership, countless boys became men of purpose. He did not just build a school, he created a brotherhood, a legacy of excellence in character, service, and vision. This book is more than a memory. It is a blueprint, a call to action. It speaks to parents, teachers, community leaders, and young men, especially those still navigating their path to purpose. It challenges us to rethink how we raise, guide, and empower the next generation. And it asks us to do more than just remembering Brother Egbert Germain. It invites us to live in his legacy, because legacy is not what we leave behind. It is what we are building now. And as the principal of SMA, current principal of SMA, left a challenge to me, and I take it up, that we need to do the same thing in Canada because that's where I'm based. I'm also would like to put a challenge out there to the signal band to help us to bridge the gap between the younger generation and the older generation through music and through culture, so that, and I'm hoping that the challenge is received with a certain amount of grace. Can you produce a song about leaders like Brother Germain, and others who have contributed so that the younger generation, in hearing the songs repeatedly, will be incentivized to do the research and to be able to garner the wisdom that comes from the alumni and the elders. And with this, I just want to say thank you, and it's an honor to be here today.
Thank you, Tony, for your remarks and challenge. And you teed it up for our next alumni spotlight, who's here with us, Mr. Sheldon Shelley Alfred. I'm going to invite him up to introduce himself and actually to the podium.
Okay, so 4 more minutes in the morning, so I'll say good morning again to all of us that are fortunate to be in the building, and even all tuned in via the Miami-Dade pages and all my Zoom friends. Special good morning to Mrs. John Baptist. She wasn't my principal while I was there, but she was a teacher, and she knows that I have the utmost respect for her, and we still continue to connect, and I look forward to even more connection, especially having heard some of the pillars and how we move forward after today's convening. I'll firstly start by, reintroducing myself. My name is Sheldon Alfred. Most people call me Shelly. I am the lead artist and singer at Signal Band. And my story is not, I think what makes my story most interesting is that it's not this traditional music by ear, sort of stumbled upon a talent sort of story. My story started at SMP, as I said. I was a very talkative student. I liked attention. I'm not as much again, but it has gotten me this far, so it's not something that I'm ashamed of. I liked attention, and I can remember one of my teachers kind of challenging me to, almost like, if you like attention so much, why don't you go into the school calypso competition? And the like attention in me was like, of course, let's do that. And I went to the SMP calypso competition for my first year. That was in 2005, I think it was. I was about 11 years old at that time, and I placed first runner-up, and it didn't stop it there. The school was like, you need to go on to the National Junior Calypso Monarch competition. And I went there a few times. Didn't win, but those were the foundational years. Even while that was happening, my father bought me my first guitar. My mother put me in a guitar summer class, and everything was just happening at the same time. And then, before I knew it, I had to graduate from SMP and go to SMA. And as soon as I walked into the doors of the gates of SMA, Mr. Elwin, may his soul rest in peace, was the principal. And Ian Jackson walked up to me and said that we have work to do. He came to find me in my class, and he said we have work to do. And from that year, 2007 is when I started SMA. That my career in Junior Calypso propelled, and I won the competition 3 times consecutively. At that same time, Signal Band was being formed while I was in third form. Signal Band was formed while I was in third form. Some of my peers go to the Dominica Grammar School, and they were childhood friends, and some of them in SMA. And even at third form level again, I had when you get to third form in SMA, I don't know if that was the case in you guys' time, but you have to kind of choose that path. Do you want to do IT? Do you want to do building technology, woods, science, business? So I remember seeing an advertisement for a building technology class, and that piqued my attention. I thought this was going to be about putting buildings together, and this is not college, and it was in the internet age, so I couldn't click a link and see the syllabus and try to really understand what this class was about. But I honestly thought it was going to be a lot about putting buildings together, and I had a keen interest in that. And I went to the class, and I realized it was about furniture. Big up Mr. Daly. Yeah, big up Mr. Daly one time because, I realized it was about putting furniture together, but it still had the fundamentals of architecture, using drawings and blueprints to put things together. And that sparked my interest in architecture from there. And since then, I've gone on to Morgan State University and earned a Bachelor's of Science in Architecture and Environmental Design. And in 2022, I completed my Master in Architecture at the Harvard University Graduate School of Design. And thank you. Since then, I have delved into the field of architectural acoustics, and how does sound behave in spaces. Since I walked into this room, that's some of the first things that I was trying to analyze, how good does this room sound? And I think it sounds very good. The tech is very professional, so big up to the guys and big up to the team. But, I stumbled upon that field because I felt like here I was moving forward with a foundation from SMP, SMA, and it felt like there were two Sheldon Alfreds. Probably there was one Sheldon Alfred and one Shelley, and I started merging those. A few months ago, I made a very difficult decision. I was working at an architectural acoustics firm as a consultant and began to make so much headway in music that I said, you know what, I'm going to give this up, at least for now. So as of January, I left the company and I said I'm going to fully be a recording and performing artist. And the good thing about that is, again, like I don't think many musicians in Dominica are fortunate to say that they have a Harvard degree in their back pocket, Some people might think that it should be in my front pocket, but I have just put a Harvard degree in my back pocket to pursue music fully. And then I think it works hand in hand with forums like these now, because whether I use the Harvard degree as a front pocket or whether I use my influence in music, I feel now that I'm in a great place where I have influence. I think one of the exciting things about my career in music, the growing career that I have, I am not excited by fame at all. I feel like that's because I was a child star. Starting in SMP and going to SMA. By SMA first form, all the convent girls were checking me out. All the convent girls, the St. Martin secondary school girls. So to be honest, like what's happening now is not bringing all this super excitement to me. The fame, the money, the vanity is not exciting to me right now. It's now a mission because those exciting days are behind me. It's now a mission, and I feel like, again, I think I'm guilty of what I said earlier of knowing that, I've got to this level and I didn't really take the time always to look far back as to where the journey started. I could say that, especially with the Harvard degree, I've been in so many forums and people think that it's so much about Harvard and the Morgan State, but it's about SMP and SMA as much as it is about Harvard University. So for me, I've been thinking a lot about my next steps in my career and the level of influence that I have, and I will put up my hand and say SMP and SMA are like top priority in those next steps for me. Top priority, and I will use that influence, use the talent to see how we can gather alumni. Let them know that there's this movement, and we need to gather them and bridge the generations, as we say. I have a lot of friends that, I have my example. I was in WA4 as well, so I do feel the pain that you feel, but, and then my fifth form class, we still have our WhatsApp group chat, and we always connecting, wishing each other happy birthday, seeing what we're up to. So these things are important, and I feel like there is a generation that I'm in touch with. I'm also fortunate that my music does reach a wide section of Dominicans and Caribbean people, from babies to the elderly, the middle age. But I think the next task right now is to really use my influence and my connections to make sure that we build a really solid team of SMA alumni, and let's take on the projects that we need to take on. And from today, I give my commitment, so we on. Thank you very much. Yeah. The challenge from Tony is I mean, it's part of it. You know, it's things that we can discuss. If I pledge my support, right now, anything is possible. You know, I got a call a few weeks ago about a school song project, and I was like, yes, we're doing this. I call Cornell. I say, yo, we know we move in. We connect with a young guy, Tice Faustin, who is the junior monarch. He has been the junior monarch for the past 2 years. Has a great voice. And I heard him sing that school song, and I'm like, yeah, I can sing, but you know, you know, we need to connect and do this thing. So I've committed to that project. New music or whatever we need to do can come along the way. I'm not a no guy. I have a song named Yes Baby, so you know that. Yeah, so yeah, we can work. Yeah.
Wow, Yes Baby is like our theme in our workspace here. No, but thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Colton, for lending your voice. I think we are on to the right way forward on continued growth. So we, you know, definitely, and I'll cite Patrick, want to make sure that we leave today with some contributions. So alumni, I'm going to look to you, and before you leave, definitely we want to make sure you commit to moving us a little closer or a lot closer to our goal today. So that concludes today's convening, but it's not the last. Technology definitely gives us a great, you know, the great ability to, you know, connect with each other no matter where we are. So you got an example of that from Dominica to Toronto, and we have alumni in Dubai, and all across the world. So our work is just getting started, and Miami-Dade College is your home, Sukasa. It's been mine, so you're welcome here anytime. All right, and so let's continue to break bread, and alumni definitely want to invite you for some pictures. We have some of our scholars, our students representing different programs and campuses. Definitely want to include them in our memories. So thank you. And Brother Jermaine, wow, 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 yeah. We'll end on that note. All right, so it sounds like we don't want to end, so let's come and get a group picture. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to move the tables, group picture, and then alumni picture. We need good content, yes. Let's kill alumni.